it? Is it me or is it you? I wonder.
It's froze.
Well, you're on. It's showing.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh shit! Hold on.
What's going on?
I don't know. Turn that off. Go back. There we go. All right, we're on. I was trying to see what the chat. Oh, we're losing Dungeon. Yeah, I thought it was, Earl. Well, let's see. We'll go ahead and bring Mr. Gerry onto the stage until. Hey, Gerry, we're going to go ahead and go bring you on because Dungeon's internet seems like it's messing with him. So, how you doing, sir? There he comes back.
Living the dream.
Living the dream. There he got back. How you now, there, Mr. Dungeon? You got her back there going?
I guess, man, it might be my internet. I don't know what's going on.
Right. Well, it seems like it's doing good now. I went ahead and brought Gerry out. I didn't want to be up here all by myself. Everybody seeing all this prettiness, afraid they might start giving me, DMs or something, be showing up my DMs.
He finally came out of the closet, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Couldn't taste me. So, if guys meet the Let It Fly on Friday guy, Mr. Gerry from Gerry's Old Guy Review. How you doing, Gerry? Yeah, he's around
doing
here.
Good.
Way. I'll get used to it here before long.
That's okay. This is the first time I've ever been live.
Hey,
ever.
I did his. I think I popped the Dungeons cherry on lives too, didn't I?
I did one a while back with a different podcast.
Right.
It's been a couple years.
Right. Oh, I forgot. You've been in it for so long. Both of you have, you old guys.
I feel it.
I'm telling you, I do too. Dude, I'll tell you what. I was down there at that comp today, and I was ready to go to sleep before I even run my truck. Oh, dude, that bad showing on both cases. You'll see the videos, but I don't want to go into me because we're here to talk about this fella right here. And
hey, before we start, let me ask you a question.
I might have an answer.
If I pull up my messenger, because I've got people sending me messages asking about the live, will it screw up this feed?
It should. They won't screw up mine. No, it might yours.
Okay.
It might yours.
I got people
back in.
I got people hitting my inbox asking me about what time it is. I got like probably 5 messages just came in right now.
Okay. Well, just switch over if it kicks you off or something.
Okay.
You just hit the link and it'll bring you right back.
Okay. Let me hit this guy back.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Wayne Clark, Mr. Dirk, John's Manning Mechanics? What's going on, everybody? We're dealing with some issues here at the moment, but we'll all get it settled in here before long, and we'll figure it out. So, Gerry,
if we don't have an issue, something's wrong.
There you go. Exactly right. I mean, shoot, the last one, if you watch the one that I had with Urban Legend, dude, there at one time I was up on the damn ceiling, turned up upside down and everything. And I didn't become poltergeist or nothing, I swear it didn't. Sorry, I got that in the way. So how long you been in this hobby, Gerry?
Probably since I'm gonna say 85 or 86.
85.
I started with Radio Shack and then Nyko.
Right.
And not to sound like a nerd, but when I was 10 years old, I got a Radio Shack Sherman tank. And then we bought a cabin in Michigan.
Right.
That was like my buddy. Being the youngest kid of 6, 9 years separated me from my next brother.
Oh, yeah.
Up at the cabin, I mean, in the 80s, you were released. Go, hey, go have fun.
Oh, yeah.
I brought that stupid tank that ran on C-cell batteries. I used all my allowance to keep it running. And I just explored miles of beach with a Sherman tank that went probably a quarter of a mile an hour until I killed it up there in the lake.
Oh yeah.
And then tried to fix it. That was the first thing that started me in tearing RC cars apart.
Right.
And in the mid 80s, you couldn't fix any of those.
Yeah,
but it doesn't stop you from trying.
Yeah. I didn't get any good at it either. I didn't have any help, but
well, going back even earlier, so back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, they didn't have all these syndromes now.
Right.
I was diagnosed as being hyperkinetic, which is
ADD now.
ADD. Yep. So genius level IQ, they said. They gave me an IQ test, did all this stuff. You'll never be able to focus.
Yep.
You'll never be able to do this. My dad started me on models, and then I got into the RC cars, which even then, you know, my parents wouldn't spend that kind of money. I didn't start work until I was 13. So, you know, then once I had that money, then I could buy RC cars.
Right. Yeah.
And my first one was like a Kyosho. It was a hard body pickup. I don't remember the name of it. But the first one I bought brand new was a Tamiya lunchbox in the late 80s at a fair. And that was it.
Right.
It's been my escape through the military, through practice wife, being a single dad, you know, and now my forever wife, who is completely supportive of the venture. As you can see, it's
must be nice.
It has to be. Yeah. I mean,
well, see, hey, Dungeon, unlike you, my kids are in their, I've only got one that's past 30. The other three are not to 30 yet. But, you know, they're big grown-up adults now. They live down in where you guys live, lower 48.
I hear you.
You know, they're
because you live in the biggest state, you ain't got to clump all of us in together, you know?
What? I mean, you guys, there's room to fit your guys' states here. We can squeeze you in. But, you know,
we could.
We're the biggest state, but up here we have the lowest population. So, you know, the kids, they want to go, they think, you know, the lower 48, the big cities, that's the thing. Yep. My one boy lives in Texas. My youngest boy lives in Pennsylvania. I don't even know where my youngest daughter is. She is like this roaming spirit. You never know where she is.
Yep. That's the youngest one's always like that.
Yeah, and none of them followed. They all had RC cars. They all built RC cars with me. And they never got into, you know, the fascination that I have working on full-size cars for 35 years.
Right.
You know, running shops, running an auto parts store now. This is my escape from reality.
Yep.
I've got four-wheelers that don't break. I've got a 77 full-size CJ7. Yeah, it broke. But what's funny is for the price of what I could pay, I could buy 5 RC cars for what I need to fix that truck. Hey, why would I want to do that when I can buy 5 RC cars?
Right.
And that truck runs just fine until it pisses me off.
Yeah.
And then it sits outside. The wife says you can't sell it. What wife does that?
Not very many, brother. Not very many. You better hold on to that one.
Yeah, well, that's 20 years, going on 20 years now. And that's what I said. I got rid of the practice wife, got the forever wife.
Yeah, I got rid of the first 2 practice wives and just I ain't found the right one yet.
Sweet baby Jesus in heaven. Twice it took you? Wow.
I call them slow roll.
Yeah. Hey, at least I didn't keep like the rest of the sides of my family, because one of them had 5, the other one had 2, which mom had 2, and that was it. But
Well, that's a
stuff.
glutton for punishment is what that's called.
Right. Yeah,
But
I
see,
figured out.
I hate traveling. I have to travel for work. So if my kids want me to visit, they better get their ass on a plane because I'm not going down there. You know, I travel enough for work, and I don't want to have to go do that. With my idea of a vacation is not working, and spending time in my acre backyard building a crawler course.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Just like look at Dungeon. They're never done. No matter what you do, you get a truck, it's phenomenal. It beats all your obstacles.
Yep.
So now you got to make new ones.
Yep.
Exactly. That's the reason I was making this indoor course the way I am. I'm making it harder than anything I can go over, you know. And once my trucks get to there, then it's going to have to be a billy goat, I guess.
Well, you've seen my course from this winter. The problem with making an idea that works in your workshop is you have 8 months up here of winter.
Quit. Lay down.
I have that course now outside stored in 3 different places because all winter I just kept building more.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
That's even worse. At least outside, the weather keeps you from working on stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? Now you did do something that's, you know, a lot bigger than what any of us do, and you built an interior 10 scale course. You know, not all of us have enough room to do that.
Well, that's because I bought a house and I told my wife, you can have the house.
I think the garage.
The garage and the backyard are mine.
There you go.
There's never been a vehicle that's lived in this garage. This is 4-wheelers and an RC.
And living in Alaska, that's not common. You know.
Well, I have a 5 foot tall wife that thinks she needs the biggest truck in the world, and you can't fit 2 19-foot trucks in this workshop. Thanks to my my wall.
Yeah,
I have to take the tow hitch off to close the garage door.
Yep,
I can get it in here.
My daughter's the same way. She's got a 2013 F-350 double cab gas motored truck. So hers is 20-some foot long too. So yeah, I know how it is with women and big old trucks.
You know, this started as one workbench. Now there's 2 workbenches.
Oh man, I'm getting more messages from guys.
What?
He's getting more messages.
Like 4 more messages, man. I don't know what to tell these guys. How do they get in here, bro? I've got like 15 more messages.
Just go to my channel and go to live.
I'll go back out.
There's a link on the 304 page. There's a link to the 304 page.
Dude, that guy don't follow the 304. He's like me. He hates Facebook.
I got you.
Dungeon, I've been playing.
Uh-oh. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good looking
the
truck.
Beluga.
Thanks for your trick. The grill worked great.
I knew it would.
Everything in the center got covered up by the winch.
Yeah, mine's the same way.
I did a little detailing on the effect.
Yeah, I see that.
Where's the body? Oh, I've already scratched this side all up. It didn't even scratch the mirrors rolling over. I love it.
They're great trucks, aren't they, bro?
Yeah, and I threw some hand-me-down tires on it. And they're those, what were these from? Oh, these were from my Gladiator Axial. They work pretty good on there. I just got to get this stupid guy out of there.
Yeah, I had to cut my guy out, man. I cut him out and used that black. You can get on Amazon and order hot melt glue. That's not really hot melt glue. It's actually what that company does is they take it's like zip tie, like pieces of zip tie that's been cut, and that company melts that zip tie into a hot melt glue form, and you can just take an actual scale figure. I buy those
Wrestlers.
I buy those, yeah, I just buy them cheap guys from like a there's a thrift shop here. She sells bags for like, I don't know, like $3 to $5 for like 4 or 5 guys.
Heck yeah.
And
Is that
I
one
just
of them
took
you
it,
sent me?
yeah, hold on, let me grab the Bronco.
Yeah, he had an accident in the shop. Rust bucket fell off the lift on him and crushed him.
That's what that guy is.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
Soloed out there real quick. There you go.
And then I just backfilled all that where I cut it out. That's that hot melt glue, and then that makes the seat and holds him, and he won't come out of there. And it's black, so it blends in with the.
Yeah,
with
I
the
wouldn't even
interior.
have noticed it. He said something about it.
Yeah, it blends in really good, man. I mean, he's heavy, but you know what I mean? I couldn't do that Lexan, the driver that comes in those, man. It's none of the heads fit that.
Yeah, see, I got 2 of those figures, but I can't find the one. But the one I did find, he's got like a double stage neck, so I can't use him. But
Yeah,
I was
most of
just
the
going to do
wrestlers
the
have
interior.
them.
I was going to do the interior in tan. I figured white and tan. You know, I'm not really all that, ladyfied to be able to coordinate colors.
I wanted to show you guys something real quick as soon as I can find it. If you're wanting any leather for like anything on your interiors, let me know. Send me a rough measurement of it. I've got some leather that you can use for the interiors on these. You've just got to strip the backing off of it. It's a blended leather, and you take and just strip the blended part off, and it's thin enough to where it works well.
Nice.
The Dollar Tree sells that stuff here.
That
I don't have a Dollar Tree.
I don't think you'll be able to get the backing off of that one, Dungeon.
Yeah, I bought the leather. It has a peel strip. It's thin. It's like O'Reilly shop towel thin. That leather that comes like that.
Nothing's that thin. Nothing is that thin. That is the thinnest stuff on earth.
Hey man, those are good shop towels.
I was going to show
They
you
are, because we don't make them.
The interior that I did, but I can't find that daggone bug out body. But that's not even the right piece.
I'd grab some of that leather and pull it up, but it's under the table here where I've got the camera sitting.
But see,
it's like $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. They sell it in a roll. Man, you could buy 2 rolls of that and do like it's like Nathan was saying. You trim it and you can just peel that backing off. But what's nice is you can take a heat gun or a hair dryer.
Yeah, and heat it and it'll pull it off. Because this is it right here. See how it's
that's it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
This is actual leather on this side.
Yep.
What they do is they take and they slice this leather down real super thin and put it on a polyester or something backing. They can make it thinner and put it on other things.
Yep.
See how?
That's the same stuff I have.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't know, but what I'm pretty good at is I'm a leatherman. I make leather belts, holsters, stuff like that, and that's what I started doing before I started messing with RC toys. Like,
yeah, your leather stuff was pretty cool. You were sending me, man.
This is just my everyday carry that I use as a prototype, but that's one of them. I've got some other stuff I can show you, but it's not right now. But this even works on 18th scale. That's what I was wanting to show you if I could find the darn thing, but it's not wanting to cooperate and hiding. Either Ed or Diesel took it out to play with it and didn't tell me and put it back. I'll show y'all. I did the dash on the inside of that bug body, and it works. You can even see where it goes down into the creases, to where the dash meets up and folds together. It really works. I know you guys are always doing that scale stuff and the super scale stuff, and I wanted to make sure to tell you all about it because I don't do a whole lot of the detail stuff like you guys do. Not yet because I don't have.
I don't add a lot of detail. I like to make the detail that already exists look more realistic. Right. I'm lazy.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
Hey, that's why I use that plastic paint from Duplicolor. Because if you spray that plastic paint, it's not plastic paint, it's vinyl and it's vinyl and plastic.
I won't be able to show you. I don't have my camera good enough.
But when that dries, you can actually use like a brush on it, and it gives it like a weird look.
Oh yeah,
because I like being lazy. I want to do it done fast and lazy.
Yep.
I've been working on this.
Some trucks, man, I like to spend time on. Other trucks, I just like to get done. Like that HB, man, it doesn't take a whole lot to detail that thing out. You know what I mean? And it's cheap.
Well, except for your tricks and tips there now about it does need some weight. So I'm not big on using weight, but that thing is feather light.
Yeah, it's lighter than the TRX4.
Really?
It just needs some beef.
Yeah, it's actually, my buddy has the 2021 TRX4 Bronco, and we took them all out stock to stock, and the HB has better suspension, believe it or not, than it handles better than the TRX4 Bronco.
Really?
With the same tires and wheels. I ran his Canyon Trails, the factory, we just swapped them and run the same lines. And there's something about the, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's the spring rate on the shocks. I don't know, but the TRX4 2021 Bronco has more torque twist. When you pull up against something, it lifts that right front wheel up a lot worse.
Really?
Maybe it's the transmission, because the transmission's a little different in that HB. It's I don't know. I took two of them apart, and some of the parts interchanged. Like all the gears trade between each other.
Right.
So you can take like the guts out of the TRX4 and put over in the HB. The HB has a little better gear ratio, I think. Like you can get away with using like a cheaper motor in the HB.
Really?
Well, I've always had to put a little juice in the shocks, and
that HB, man, for what you're paying for it, it works well.
Right. Well, I run upon another 18th scale thanks to Jason Earl showing me, and Ian from RCOCM get me in with the AliExpress a little bit. I know.
Hey man, they sell good shit.
I'm enjoying it, Psycho.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we'll have to do a drink here in a minute, Jerry. I got.
Let me show you this.
Hey man, Cross RC, $325 from AliExpress.
Oh, hold on.
Look at this. This is from Mark, Woods Unknown. Back in the early days, he sent me this. It's a handle for my beer.
No shit.
I mean my adult beverage. Look at that thing. It's so cool.
Nice. I will have to talk to Mr. Woods about this. I think I need me one of them.
I mean, this is classy right here.
I love
Holding your beer. Let me do this. Okay, without the emblem. There we go.
Yeah, because we aren't allowed to support any.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. He sent me and Miss Diane both have one.
That's awesome.
I painted it with RC paint, and it always sits in here.
There you go. Now, what was you showing, Dungeon? Wait a minute, he disappeared. He done been abducted by aliens.
They'll bring him back.
No, wait a minute, watch.
They will.
Yep. Hey, wait a minute. It's like Beetlejuice, Jerry.
He'll critique the ship, and they'll send him back.
Yeah. Like Beetlejuice, you say Woods 3 times, and he pops up in the chat.
He'll start bitching, be like, "You call this a spaceship?" And then they'll just let him go. Oh, look, Woods is here.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's like Beetlejuice.
I wonder
Say
if I
his name
switch
3
over
times
to
and
my.
he shows up in the chat.
Of course, I have a Mark. I'm surprised they haven't worn out yet.
Oh, wait a minute. Where did my adult beverage go?
All right, there we go.
I had one. I was wondering.
Oh, I'm glad Woods is still here too. Yeah. What do you want? You're not getting beer. You're too good.
Oh well, there. I did a shot. I was going to cheers with you, but I don't know where my corn liquor went. I think my dog drank it.
Damn, that's a good
I'll
dog.
cover the label.
He was acting a little bit funnier the other day. Oh, I see it. I see the lid.
Put some RC tape on that thing. Excuse me?
Oh, buddy, hey, around
Hey,
here,
Woods, where's
our
my
stores
handle
don't
at,
put labels.
Woods?
Hey, our liquor don't have labels around here, boys.
Wow.
In the state of West Virginia, this is legal.
You're not getting beer. Get out.
Oh, boy, look here.
One thing I haven't been hit with has been labels on my channel lately.
Right. Look here, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boys.
Hey, I got a jar full of water too.
Hey, it ain't no water, Bob.
Teddy, come on, buddy. What did
It's
you
right
say?
here. Come from down in northern Louisiana, is what I was told. And old boy knew what he was doing because he had some flavored stuff. And I said, "Yeah, I like them flavored." I said, "It's good stuff." I said, "I just don't like." I said, "If I'm gonna drink squeezed corn, I want to be able to taste the vegetable in my drink."
Hey, well, here's where my hillbilly came from. I bought this house for my buddy because he used to have a still in the backyard.
Hey, boy.
I'll be damned if that still wasn't here when I bought the house.
Hell yeah.
I got robbed.
It wasn't here.
I mean, it was horrible. He couldn't make shine, but it was the thought that
I just
counted.
want to know why Woods hasn't hit me with one of those handles yet.
Well, see, I think it's what we need. I'll make everybody hillbilly jack stands. Jerry gets us all the asshole shirts. Woods will get us the beer holders. And Dungeon's just gonna have to get his RC tires cleaned up for us every now and then.
Hey, Woods had to made this for me 3 years ago.
That's awesome.
Maybe 4.
Hey, the man's awesome. He's good with what he does. Let me tell you. I mean,
yeah, except for he lives in Canada. You know, that's the main house. We're the porch over here in Alaska.
Yeah.
That little country of Canada.
Don't you know?
Oh, hey, Woods. Hey, Woods, look at my shirt. Look at Woods. Sorry, guys. That was subliminal.
I hear you. Yeah. All you Jeep guys. What's up with the duck thing anyway?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know how the hell that got started.
I don't know. This is an FJ Cruiser on my shirt.
That's it is an FJ.
And I own a CJ, which is a real Jeep. So I don't know what these Wrangler guys are doing.
See, I say this to them, and then I go watch these daggone videos and these daggone YJs and shit's out there just wearing it out. I hate to say it, but they're wider and they're a little bit longer than them CJs.
You know what the funny joke is? Everybody ragged on Dodge for the square headlights.
I love my YJ.
AMC already built that truck. That was supposed to be the new CJ.
Yep.
But Dodge got all the grief. AMC was like, "Hey, the check cleared. We don't
ain't doing
it." Yeah, the CJ.
They tried to modernize the Jeep, what they were doing. We have 16 of them.
You sure you have enough, Dungeon?
We have CJs, YJs, JKs, TJs. I actually had a 2 XJs, couple male Jeeps.
Now the male Jeeps.
But I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you right now, if you go up against a JK, Same size tires, man. You're gonna get your ass whooped with a JK. I've been there and done that. Those JKs,
Which
they'll
one's the
rip you a new
JK?
one.
What's a JK?
We
Which one's that?
we just up to I think a 2018, 2019. I can't remember when they quit making it. They went to the JL. The new one's the JL. The one before previous is the JK. We just got rid of ours. We had a 2017 four-door JK, but that JK with stock tires would annihilate the dudes. I mean, even with a 33, 35-inch tire on a YJ or a CJ, man, a JK will walk all over them.
Right.
Well, that's all.
It hurts my
That's all
feelings,
coil
but,
spring. In that coil spring?
yeah, but I mean, my wife just had a 32-inch tire, and my CJ's running a 360, punch 40 over, high rise aluminum intake, fender well headers, lockers, and that JK, unfortunately, would kick the shit out of that CJ off road.
Now, y'all brought these
I
Jeeps.
gotta give Pete props, man. They don't stay together. The JKs don't stay together, but my gosh, man, when you're talking about off road, man, those JKs are serious. They'll do it.
Yeah. Now, see, y'all brought up these Jeeps, and you see a lot of the guys in the RC community, especially if the 24s, talk about all this, CJYJ, but they're the same daggone axial frame. You know what I mean? They're just saying because it's got that body that it's better. It don't make it climb no better sometimes. I mean, but about that, well, you answered one of my questions a while ago, Jerry. But actually, you answered two of them because you told me it's you was working on the 1-to-1s, and that's how you sort of got into doing the or staying into the hobby with the RC cars. There, words, output device. There it goes. But since you've been in the hobby, what's your biggest tip for somebody new that's coming into the hobby? And if it's just coming into the hobby to play in the hobby, or coming into the hobby to play on YouTube or whatever.
That's easy. It's you got to do your research, and you got to buy what you want. It don't matter. I mean, like me, there's so much of this room that I bought just because of what it was.
Right.
So, I've never been I make a big fuss about the Wranglers, but the FMS, the Michigan, is phenomenal for what it looks like. Right. I don't care if it's a performer. The FMS Atlas, that is an old power ram. Right. I don't care about the performance. And if you're new, you don't know any of this crap that everybody talks about. You throw a battery in that, you go out there and you have a hell of a good time. You don't know that with the factory setup, the shocks are limiting. If you're rolling it over, you don't know why it's rolling over. You bought it for what it looks like and have fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a $40 Banggood fire truck over in the corner. It was supposed to be 14 scale so I can run it with my semis.
Right.
It's not. But it squirts water like a fire truck. It cost me $40.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling me, well, no shit. I know it doesn't perform. It doesn't do this. But you know what? It's fun. And that's the biggest thing for so many people right now, especially new people. Who cares about the crap talk?
Yep.
You don't know better. Go out there and have fun with it. I mean, that's how I did the lunchbox from Tamiya.
Yep.
I had fun with that truck until I basically killed it.
Right.
Never once did I mod it. Did I do any of that stuff? Because in the late 80s, there wasn't a lot to do to it. Yeah. But you know what? I killed that truck and had a smile on my face every minute I drove it.
Right.
That's the same thing here. That FMS, that Michigan. I put different wheels on it, and for some reason, the lug nuts don't like staying tight on it. But you know what?
No, they hell with that,
I'll drive that thing until the wheel starts wobbling. I'll tighten it and keep going.
Yep.
You know, I look around, RC four-wheel drive stuff. I'm not as skilled as Dungeon is with that stuff. But you know what? That has never once stopped me from taking that out because, like we were talking earlier, I like taking a stock truck. Like I've got the Desert Runner. Wait a minute. The RC, it's not RC four-wheel drive, it's JD models.
Yeah.
So it's got lock-in differentials. This truck performs like a brick.
Right.
But you know what? This is realistic, right down to the wheels. And to make this truck do what it would do in real life, that is, to me, is joy. I put the light kit. It's got a full light kit in it.
Oh,
what is that? I got search and rescue on it.
Heck yeah.
I painted it up. When you open the doors, it scratches the paint.
Awesome.
But you know what? I don't open the doors. The detail's all done inside.
Right.
But this truck performs like your real truck in the driveway.
That's what's cool. That's realistic. That scales hell,
And yeah, and that's my biggest thing with the new ones. Take it out, drive it. Don't listen to everyone else.
Get used
See
to
what
your
it does.
Right.
And then after you've had it for a while, if you're completely unhappy with it, then go on and see about modding stuff and learn. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't know a damn thing about the weights and all this specs that everyone uses.
60-40 weight bias. That's the best thing I can tell you. 60-40 on no matter what it is.
Yep. See, and that's what I do. I put more weight on the front to keep it from flipping over. And that's it. And even if I flip and roll it, I'm like, man, I can't believe how far that truck went before it flipped over.
Right. Right.
If I want something that's super, I'll build a super creepy crawly truck. But to me, I love seeing what they can do.
Right. Right.
Scale trucks will make you a better driver, and that's just fact. People get all pissed off at me for saying that, but we've taken our scale leaf spring trucks out and run them against the modified, Ascents, and hell, up here's a TGH Holmes Hobby custom LCG chassis truck, and I can take some of my leaf spring trucks that have been slightly tuned, and some of them will run some of the craziest. It's just people don't want to take their time. They just want to. Everybody just wants to haul ass and the most flex they can get and all that bullshit. And you gotta, if you take your time and learn to drive something, man, that makes all the difference. But people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's because you have the one-to-one experience like I do.
Yeah. See,
right.
Mine was just
you pick your lines with your RC car like you pick your lines with your full-size truck.
Exactly.
Because your one-to-one costs a lot more if you flip that over and roll down the hill.
See, that was the problem with my one-to-ones and my RCs is they're both the same way. They're opposite of that. Right pedal. And stay small. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for showing up, bud. Nice to see you. And that's who you was talking about.
Trying to get his ass in here.
2 there a minute ago. I was like, yep, wait a minute. He don't do too much Facebook. He's friends with Dunn. I said, that's who it was. As soon as I seen it pop up.
I've been trying to get him in here.
Yeah. I seen that he subscribed to the channel, and I was getting ready to say, but I wasn't going to interrupt Jerry there. But
well, I sent him a text, but it wouldn't send the text through for some reason.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
It's still spinning over here in the corner.
Let me hit this chat up here real quick. I want to say thanks to everybody that's in here. I've got Stay Small. I got Why Are You So Nosy? Nas. I got Mr. Woods. unknown. We got RC Granny. We got Jason Earl, which he's backstage if he wants to come out and holler. Let's see. We got John's Mini Mechanics, another one of the that Dungeon turned me on to. Awesome channel. If y'all ain't subscribed to any of these people, something wrong with y'all.
It's not Sunday if you don't watch John.
Are awesome.
He's a good guy.
Awesome guys and great channels. Ted Scale Performance. What's up, brother? Dark again. Psycho 13 Garage. We got Russell Guilford. Let's see. We got Coffee Cup.
Oh yeah, he finally got in. I've been trying to get him in too.
Yeah. Got Coffee Cup. Let's see if he's still here. Jay Myers. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm going back through here. I took too long. I should have. Russell's been in here for a while. I apologize.
On the YouTube.
Dwayne Clark. And that's about it. Everybody said hi. What's going, y'all? Thanks for stopping in.
Russell's a good guy, man. I talk to him on the phone ever so often.
I hear you. Now,
you're annoying.
I'm going to ask a question, Jerry. Out of all your cars, I know everybody asks which one's your favorite.
All of them.
I know, but I've seen you attempt this question before on your own.
I know that's hard.
It could help,
Maybe it's not.
Oh!
You know why? You know why this is my favorite?
Why's that?
Because this is what got me into crawling.
And that is what? That is Gen 7?
This is an OG Axial XCX10.
Okay.
And because I'm cheap, this was bought as a kit. And it had the pickup truck, which I still have the pickup truck body. I still have the owner's book for this. Then it became a Honcho when the Honcho came out.
All right.
This is actually the bumper off for the Honcho, I believe.
No.
Yeah.
All I've done, it's got Traxxas. It's got Canyon Trails on it.
That's what I'm running
on
my
new electronics. It became the what was this is the Honcho body. What's the one before this? The fake
Dingo.
It was the Dingo. The Dingo was the first one I put lights in the dash. But this truck has slowly, I've got an Optima in there. I've got a little battery pallet, a little storage bin in here.
Go ahead.
But I just recently renewed this. And this is actually the second set of axles. This truck got me into crawling. And the next truck I bought was the original yellow-bodied Mojave from RC 4-Wheel Drive. And these two trucks.
Go to one.
The Mojave's over there. There it is. Now it's a 4Runner. Those are two of my oldest crawlers. What is that? 07, 08? I think
it was before that, wasn't it?
It could have been 05. But Axial
hold on a second and I'll tell you. Jason, what was your date of birth?
What's that?
I was asking my son, what was your date of birth? Because I need it. 2007 is when the Mojave come out.
Yep, 07. So that was still, kits were prominent.
Right.
Traxxas was the only RTR at the time.
Mojave was a year before you were born. That's why. Sorry.
What's that?
And I've got that original bodies over there. I've got a whole box out in my shed full of bodies.
Right.
But I remember
your birthday. I don't remember the date.
It's like you get attached to these things.
You was there, tell him.
I'm not good with dates.
He says, I remember your birthday. I was there. Damn it. What day was it on? I'm the same way. I got you.
I can't remember that stuff, man. I can't remember dates.
8 weeks in a row of pouring rain. What? Wow. Jim's bikes and RCs in the house, and
I got a question for you, Jerry.
What's up, man?
Have you ever taken the C-hubs off of your Charisma and tried to put the OG SCX10 C-hubs on those axles?
On the Brat?
Charisma axle. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I want to convert. I think they'll fit. I think the OG SCX10 C-hubs will fit that Brat.
I think I've got an extra axle sitting around somewhere.
Woods, that
I
sucks,
think
man.
they're the same.
Sorry, go ahead. Woods get every weekend. 3 weeks of rain.
They're the same, aren't they?
They look damn close.
I'm thinking they are. If I can get my hands on the aluminum C-hub for an SCX10, I can convert this Brat I got over to aluminum C-hub.
Now it looks like I might have to do some exploration. Did you get yours? You didn't have the stock tires, did you?
No.
These things perform really well, but those treads are penises.
Oh, put that back up there. I didn't get that on. I didn't get that soloed out. Show us one more time.
They're penises.
The center lugs are little penises and balls.
They are.
Look how they're so soft.
He's got to play with something.
That is
They
the
make
only
pills
reason.
for that.
And they're on there just for that. Look at them. They're so soft.
Yeah. Yep.
This thing, I take this out to test obstacles when I build them on the course. So I did a little geometry up front, but look at these. I mean, these tires show like zero wear.
Lay down.
That's crazy.
It's the power of the penis.
The power of the penis. But Jim, you brought that up, Mr. James. Go ahead. Go ahead. Jim's was asking me about the newest project for the Redneck Wrecking Crew. This little on pawn shop find that I got. $40.
Man, they're always good.
All it needed was a servo and a battery wire fixed and a body. And it runs. And it runs good. The shocks aren't shot. The diffs aren't shot.
No, Arma, man, you're not going to tear the diffs out of that thing unless you're doing something crazy.
The thing is, my brother from another money, Mr. Tony Shull from around here in my area, he hooked me up with a T-word body short course truck for it for now until I find something else for it.
T-word?
T-word.
Did the pawn shop guy have any idea what the RC car was?
Yeah. It's a buddy of mine.
Oh, that sucks.
But they'd had it there. Somebody had bought it and then brought it back for some reason, probably because they tore up a servo and said it didn't work. But what it was where it comes out of the ESC, it had wore on that edge of that plastic and got into the wire and burnt that ESC up. I mean, burnt that wire, that servo up. So I had one.
That's got a red cat motor in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an intern brushless red cat motor. It's not super fast, but I haven't put 3S on it yet. I put some 2S on it. Just did a shakedown.
They're made to run 3S.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
it's a knockoff China clone of the Hobby Wing. That's what Red Cat. That's what that motor is.
Right now, I'll tell you what, the sucker drives just like a short course truck would, because that was like my second ever RC was a Ivan Ironman Stewart Toyota 4-wheel drive short course Baja truck. I don't know if it was Radio Shack, Montgomery Ward, somewhere I got it. You know, it was like a 16 scale. It wasn't a 10. I know that. It was about this big. And it actually performed like a short course truck. You know, you see them come around in them big dirt, you know, curves. It's got a little bank to it, and that ass end just comes down and just sits down, and you see it come out.
Yeah.
It's twist. I mean, I got it on video. Did a little bit of just a little short 10-minute video on it yesterday. Well, actually, only about 2 minutes of it was running, but
I watched that.
donuts. You know, whenever I was doing
By
them
the
donuts.
way, I still can't comment on your videos.
You can.
I don't know what's up with that.
It won't let you. I don't understand that.
I don't either, but I watched your one where you were talking at the pit crawl zone. I couldn't comment on that shit at all.
Huh. Uh-oh.
Wouldn't
We
let
got
me comment on it.
We'll send in the house there, Miss Waffles.
Hey,
Nathan, quit letting the kids watch the videos. Say no kids and we can comment.
I don't know what the deal is. I can't comment on. I know Stay Small's on here. Some of his stuff I can't comment on either.
I don't understand
that. And I've unsubscribed, went back and subscribed because somebody told me that if you unsubscribe and subscribe, he's got like a bunch of like videos that I've watched that I can't drop a comment. All I can do is hit the like button. That's it. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm a bot. They call me hot bot.
Right. Alex, Earl, if y'all have any questions, y'all make sure to jump in and ask if y'all want. And we'll start taking some questions here from the peanut gallery here in a few. Now, what's the most important thing in crawling to you? Performance, looks, scale? What do you think? Yours is more really the scale, yeah, Jerry. I know what it is. I asked this question.
I prefer a good mix of all if you can.
Right.
My vehicles, once I get them, which I bought them for their look, they're generally never done.
Right.
Generally, if I'm driving, if you look behind, if I was to look behind my four-wheeler, I had my four-wheeler for years, and because I'm cheap, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to buy a new one because there's a new one out. I went over to the local graphic shop. It's white. So I got Siberian tiger stripes for it. Why not? And now it's got stripes, and everyone says,
I love it. I've
never seen a four-wheeler look like that. And if it's in the woods, you can actually lose it. And like right there with my original, you go with the original axial. Yep. There is no interior or anything on there, but I did the exterior for more details. The Trailfinder 2 got a complete new body and a set of new wheels and tires. When I started out, and I was living on a military salary, you buy one vehicle, 2 bodies, 2 sets of tires. Now you've got 3 vehicles.
Yep.
And to me, that was the simplest pleasure right there, was to have those different options. Have my buddies say, must be nice to have 3 RC cars. I was like, well, yeah, you keep working hard, you'll eventually get there. But that was a joke. And, put a light bar on it. Put a roll cage or something. Thanks to Dungeon, my SCX6, which has never seen much of anything. The second year, I put a roof rack on it with some lights. And then he got me onto the looking around for the low dollar. Now it's got a push bar, like Good Time RC or something, whatever the Chinese company is. You know what? It fit right in. It looks good. And little things. I don't have to go spend a fortune. Unfortunately, I am a child, so sell 2 rigs. Dungeon gets me onto the deals. So I get rid of 3 rigs and buy 5. Or I trade them to my buddies now because I've got so many. and I bought them so cheaply. You know, I use Affirm, PayPal for pay. You know, I don't put myself out. And there's only one paycheck a month where I could actually even squeeze any money out for RC. So I got to be a grown up. The mortgage, you know, comes first. Can't buy anything on that paycheck, but everything's Affirm. If I buy anything from A-Main now, it's with store credit. I'll buy accessories there because Scale by Chris, which he makes some crazy stuff. Yow Racing.
My Wraith is done up in his stuff. My Wraith up here.
Is that
it's all Scale by Chris? Yeah, it's all. That's the whole back end of that is all Scale by Chris. The whole back of that truck is all his stuff.
And he's reasonable.
Oh yeah.
That was $11 from and that's a complete bed insert with it comes with fuel lines and all that stuff. I haven't put fuel lines in it, but it comes with, and it seals up watertight. So if you want to put electronics back there, water won't get into that in that Wraith. But that whole thing is all Scale by Chris.
That's
been in there for like almost 2 years in that Wraith. Yeah.
And Yow Racing, they got a bunch of that good stuff too. I love. It's cheap, but it's really good. The Yow Racing stuff, their light kits are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because if you look at them, some of the kits are exactly the same as the Tamiya light kits, and you might have to just switch the wires around, but they all work still. Because Tamiya, they had that nice cheap light kit, and now they don't make it anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, we've already heard him gripe about that.
14
Power Shift RC, man. He's one of the best, most affordable light kits I've ever used in anything. You go to Power Shift RC and you message that guy, he'll cut you a deal on shipping.
Power Shift.
He makes Power Shift.
I've never heard of Power Shift RC. Do they make light kits for Red Cats? I wonder. Is it a thing?
Yep. Great deals on that stuff, ain't he?
Yeah, and he's got the old lights. So this truck actually has his Red Cat kit. So this is old looking lights.
Yeah.
Steel beams.
And then just like you would do on your your 1-to-1.
Yeah.
The bumper lights are bright, just like if you bought some fancy LEDs on your This is how my brain works when I do stuff. When I start, Scale by Chris, there's the roof rack.
Yeah.
This with 6 bolts. This Scale by Chris roof rack is, I mean, if you look at the truck, how beat up it is, that roof rack is perfect.
Yeah, and that's what hits the most.
He makes great stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's affordable.
Yeah.
And see, that's my opinion right there. That is the combination. You've got International Scout. You've got scale accurate dim lights. You've got, say I bought a fancy light bar or a push or bumper. So that's the way my brain works for that about, he put some, what the hell are those the flares. So he put some wheel flares on his old International.
Yeah.
He put some new bumpers on it, but you're looking at the lights and he's running the original electronics in it.
Now, is that a Gen 7 or is that a Gen 8, that Scout?
That's a Gen 8.
Gen 8, okay. There was guys asking in the chat, and Oz and Jim's Bikes and RC was asking.
Yeah, thanks
Most
to too many.
truck ever made.
Thanks to too many comments.
I wanted you guys to see here. Let me see where it went. Where'd it go?
A Gen 8 that hangs with my Colt trucks.
See,
that thing is
beautiful.
kicked the shit out of almost everything.
Woods, best night ever. All my favorite YouTubers. Thank you, Woods. I appreciate that.
He's just
Quit
always trying to
flirting
hit
with
on
us,
me.
Woods. You flirt.
And, hey, Full Send, where the heck is the welder dude at? Is he working tonight, or is he just not on? He's not on his phone. You doing his talking for him?
What? This is not a co-host show, sir.
Oh yeah, yes, but it is. So
if I'm sitting here talking, he just assumes he needs to be part of it.
That's this one too. He's right here at my feet. He's been whining, griping, wanting me to let him out. He's just gonna have to deal with it for a little bit.
Well, yeah, but at least he's
being out.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to open up the questions for the guys here in the chat, guys. If you all have a question, go ahead and let us know, and we'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. And yeah,
I'm out of it. My adult beverage is empty.
Oh, well, you gotta get you one real quick if you need to. If you need one, sir, we can take a minute for cold beverage replacement. He said, "I'm gone."
He's gone. He's gone.
Asshole elbows. I'm out. Yeah, now Nas, he's doing something pretty cool. He's putting him a XJ body on an Everest 10, and he's going to do some scale stuff to it. You need to check out Wire Used to Nosey's channel, Dungeon. He's got that thing on Everest 10 looking badass and doing some killer stuff.
Yep. I put the XJ Endura body on my Gen 8. If he stops by and checks that video out,
right?
That mounting system that I made for that Gen 8, he might be able to use on his XJ because it uses the bumper slide in, and it makes it to where you can just slide it in, and you only got 2 screws holding the front of the body down.
Well, there you go, Nas. If that helps, hopefully it did.
That was rude.
Yeah.
You're not getting beer.
What did you do about the?
Yeah, they're asking about the animatronics that the guys are doing about getting them to steer and stuff like that. Now,
yeah, Racing sells the steering wheel on eBay for I think around maybe $11-12. It might be a little more than that now because of the tariff bullshit, but that's the easiest way because it shares your steering servo with your steering wheel. So you put a jumper in there, and when you steer right, it just follows and then they'll just follow it. I mean, it's not
right.
That's now, the easiest way to do it right there.
Now, a buddy of mine, super one-handed on YouTube. Y'all go check him out. He's got a 24 scale deadbolt that's got the head that turns. And he worked his butt off on that one and got it working. Elaine Batania on Facebook. Any group you see, this dude's got the most scale stuff in the world, and he's doing all the animatronic stuff. He's real good with it. And he will help us and give us some tutorials if we get time to get him on, be able to get him on. He taught me how to make ratchet straps for 10th scale out of a couple nice like just basically just chrome rings and a piece of shoestrings, how he makes his ratchet straps for all his stuff. And looks good, works good, easy to make.
Well, if you got your own 3D printer, Knights Customs has those files now.
Yeah.
For all kinds of moving ones.
Yep.
I wish I had those skills because there's some of those files that they have the moving bits. I had a worker that his wife got into it, used to bring them in articulating. It's crazy.
Yep.
Ribbon from Walmart right there. All you need is ribbon from Walmart. There's your scale ratchet strap. That's all you need. And then you can just make your hooks for your tie downs, whatever you want to use.
Right.
And then just cut you whatever plastic, styrene, metal, aluminum buckle, slide it through, pull it tight, cinch it just like a ratchet strap. Right there it is.
There you go. Hey, Woods, I'm going to answer that question for Nas. I mean, for I'm going to say that it's the. There you go. I'm going to say it's probably the Klingons, but Woods wants to know what's your favorite Endura tire. Oh, wait a minute. I heard something.
Enduras. Yeah, the Klingons are probably. It depends what you're talking about. If you're just wanting like competition, the Klingons are probably going to get you better performance out of all the S5 compounds. If you're wanting trail, then these over here, in my opinion, and I had the real deal. These are the Kraken Claw Endura S5. I don't mess with the S3s no more. But if you're wanting trail, the Kraken Claw seems to like the trail stuff a lot better than the Klingons. The Klingons seem to, if you're doing comp stuff, like the Klingon with like their silicone insert, they do just as well as my Predator compound high racks. They work just as well as the Megs I have up here in the green compound. Predator compound BF Goodrich crawlers. They all work just about the same. But that Klingon for performance, all out performance, man, they're a hell of a tire for $27. Tried to go over that video on the channel when I did it, but to be honest with you, and I'm just gonna be honest, if you want the cheapest, best budget tire performance wise, just go to Ally Express and pick up a set of Mixed Racing. They're Tusk clones. Those right there will kick the shit out of about anything you're gonna buy. They're
there were guys running those down there at the comp today. A lot of guys were running those.
Damn good tire right there. Tusk will cost you like $70. These will cost you $16. You can modify these. If you can take the stock foams and just vent them.
Yeah.
Just vent them on the top and the bottom, 6 and 12 o'clock. And dude, these hang with all of our Predator compound shit. If you've got a decent rig to begin with, these will get you. They're a great tire, and they hold up. They don't. These have 16 3S packs through them on a comp course, and you can see they don't hardly have any wear on them at all.
Right.
And I mean, you're not going to hardly beat that for $16. I mean,
right now there is a caveat that I have on those Endura S5 compounds.
When it gets hot,
if you get dust on them, it's like you're riding on marbles. They're not going to grab on anything. Have you noticed that?
I noticed concrete dust messes with them a little bit.
Dusty rocks, it's like marbles. I've seen.
I clean all my tires with mean green or simple green, and I just break them down. Before I even run them, usually I'll clean them all with simple green, but I mean, I've got these are the high racks up here on my Wraith. These are Predator compounds that everybody always, $120 set of 3D printed inserts that everybody says is the best. And I'll put the Klingons head to head with them damn high racks Proline Predators all day long. I don't care. They can come out to the course and I'll prove it. They know where I'm located.
Right. Well, I'm going to agree with Woods, and it was all because of Dungeons, the reason that I got these tires to begin with, and all the trading and stuff with Brad and this, that, and the other. But Dungeons is the one that actually treated those tires. But those canyon trails are some badass tires. Stock foam.
RCR.
I mean, I don't even know if they ever took them off of the wheels or not before I got them, but they haven't been taken off since I've had them, and they do awesome. I had that daggone Everest 10 that I got off Brad in that comp, going through stuff that no guy had went through that day, and then I broke, but that was my fault, Want to say, hey,
all those guys
showed up. Waffles in the house.
Guys, man, I don't. We've got Brad. He's in our group. he's been running a set of 1.9 Canyon Trails, bro. They swelled so much from use. Like he's run them so much, they went to a 2.2 size wheel. He didn't have to stretch them to fit a
He's
2.2. Like yeah, and he's got them mounted to. If you watch, he's got some videos. I've got some videos. His red G made blazer. He's got my son's military blazer up here. He's got the red one.
right.
In that video, that's a 2.2 wheel. It's a 1.9 Canyon Trail. Dude, we haven't cut him nothing. He's ran those, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years. He got the TRX4 Sport when it first came out. They were on that Sport. They were on a Gen 8. They haven't ever wore out. I mean, and they just get better the more he runs them. We had to put 2.2 foams in them because they stretch so much. Like
Right.
the size actually went up that much.
Wow.
But guys that shit on those Canyon Trails, I don't understand. They're a great tire for an RCR. That's just my opinion. If you're talking RCR,
you take the stock. If you can take them apart, you cut those stock foams and soften them up a little bit.
cut them.
They're amazing. It's like Traxxas. Make a lighter foam. You've got a phenomenal tire.
Yep.
I just like to go to caller and say, you go to every Traxxas guy and say, hey, what'd you do with the original tires? And they're like, oh, I threw that in the bin. And you're like, you want to sell them?
Yeah.
John's Mini Mechanics, dude, you got to buy the Endura inserts if you're going to run the S5 compound. I've done so many videos on those Endura tires.
Yep.
You have to have the Endura. They are made like a glove. That's why Endura, everybody gets these wide ass tires like these right here. And then they complain about, oh, they don't fit because they're wide and they're slopping the sidewall. Look at the Endura tires. They're the perfect width for their Endura. And you don't need to buy a $100 set of 3D printed fancy Three Brothers, whatever. I have them. They're up here. I don't even run them. I'll take those Endura silicones all damn day long over that $120 set of inserts. I run everything.
Right.
I've got $300 of inserts laying underneath my table. They're not in anything. YZZRs, Three Brothers with the tuning rods, foam darts, and the Endura silicones, and you don't need any weight added to anything. Guarantee you it will take it and make it a whole different truck. It's night and day difference. You can tune those Endura silicones with those foam darts. I did the video on it. Dude, it's like you're taking a truck and putting $200 in wheels and tires on it, and you're spending $40, maybe $50 at best, buying Endura tires and the inserts and putting them together. That's literally all you have to do. It blows my mind what guys blow for them high dollar. I've got so many 3D inserts I've tried. My gosh, dude. Like, it was such a waste of money buying them 3D. My YZZRs fell apart in about 15 battery packs. The YZZRs just crumbled into pieces.
Wow.
And I mean, that's running it on my course. I was so pissed off. They were $95 because I bought his expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so mad. He replaced them.
Right.
The only ones I've had hold up is the Flub RC.
Yeah.
I have a set of Flub RC.
Great inserts.
Who?
Yeah.
Flub RC.
Club RC.
Flub. FLUB.
Flub. Yep.
FLUB. Yep. And Jerry, you saw they was asking about you. They was asking what your guy was sitting up there in the chair, in the Relarlo chair.
This is Gary Oldman, one of the best British actors ever. Unfortunately, this replicates him in a Harry Potter thing. Something. I was going to put him in the Relarlo right there, but it's only a half interior. I would have had to cut him in half, but this is an Amazon special. He's wearing a sweater, but you can't take the sweater off because it's part of his clothes. So it was bad enough I got an action or a toy. This one's not even an action figure. He's from Harry Potter. So I can't even cut him in half and use his clothes right. So yeah, he sits in the chair now, Rolarlo. I figure if I ever want to do an outside scene, he can sit in the chair under the overhang. And I'm still debating on the interior because he's got to be big. He needs to be at least a 10-inch. He's 12, so Amazon lied.
Right.
So he's too big to fit in there. So, when you play with dolls as a grown-up, this is what happens. You buy a doll and you're stuck with it because he doesn't work. Because somebody wrote the wrong size on the box. But he fits in the chair okay. Yeah. I figure I can make like a fire scene or something.
Right. Now, Laughlin wants to know, do you vent your Enjoy silicone inserts to Dungeon?
Sure do. Right there we go. All vented, brother. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. 2 holes vented.
Hey, Laughlin, you need to go on his channel and watch the redneck hack he's got on that for those inserts too.
I got the foam darts laying down here. Yeah, all you got to do is take the foam darts, trim them to the size you want, put them in the holes, pair of tweezers. Maybe. Now, do you cut any of
the veins on the inserts before you do any of those? I can't remember.
Do I do what now?
Do you cut any of the insert before you put any of the darts in there? I can't remember. Okay.
No need. If you're running the blues, you have to trim the webbing out of the blues. If you buy the greens,
right,
a cheap Family Dollar bag of darts, you can go down to Family Dollar, buy the foam darts. They're waterproof because they're basically like a pool noodle type compound. Trim them to the size you want. Put them in the insert. If you're running a wide tire, you can go to a Walmart. Everybody has Walmarts. You don't have to go to Walmart if you don't like Walmart. All you got to do is order the craft foam. Take your foam, trace it out in the craft foam, trim it out. If you want to run a wide tire, I don't run the shim on the outside. I run it on the inside. But
right,
you know what I mean. If you want that width to fill it, because everybody, a lot of guys run the wide tire. That's what I did to my Ascent. I had to widen it for those. Well, these right here are done. These are done right here. That's the tusk.
Read the tickers while Ben Jerry was laughing. Sorry.
A beanie baby.
Oh, keep going. It gets better.
I love it.
These nuts.
I love it. Oh gosh.
I was going to ask Dungeon while he was talking if he had any of
them. My wife took all my nuts.
They're in a nice little velvet bag on her dresser.
Technically, don't they all?
No, John, don't give up the Jesus juice. It's good. I mean, the Jesus lettuce. We don't call it the devil's lettuce around here. It's all good.
If you're juicing it, you're doing something wrong. Nathan, if you're juicing it, you're doing something wrong.
Hey, now, I'll tell you what. I like that extract stuff that they do, but that's just way too much adult pot for me. It's way too adult for me. I can't handle it. I'll be sitting there like this.
Okay, without using the terminology, let me tell you, I'd been away from it a while. When my neck was giving me problems in 18 and 19, I couldn't sleep.
Oh, yeah. It'll help you sleep. What's up, Benita Creek?
My buddy started making me cookies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, edibles.
He was very good at that because I found that many nights in the summer, I didn't realize how long I'd been staring out the window downstairs, totally relaxed, went back to bed, and I could sleep now for a year. But unfortunately, once I spent $190,000,
oh my gosh,
So that was at 19. I'm back to not sleeping now. So I may need some more cookies.
Right. Something happened to your audio on my end, Jerry. It sounds like you're in a bathroom or echoing. It's
Am
done
I?
that earlier, but
I haven't moved.
maybe.
How do I sound, Dungeon?
It sounds like it's in like a tube, like a hollow tube.
Well, that's weird. I haven't moved or done anything.
Huh. Yeah, it did it earlier, but then it came back. Maybe just one of your wires just deciding to go out on you.
Wires? You think I'm high tech enough that I'm not using a cell phone?
Well,
That's all I have.
okay.
Yeah, I don't. My wife's got a laptop. But
Wow, you're able to sit that far away from your phone and be able to still read it? I can't do that, and I ain't as old as you all.
No, I have the screen blown up.
That's what it stays like. That's what it sounds like, Stay Small. Exactly. It went from FM to AM.
Yeah,
well,
You young in the chat won't understand what that means, but back in the day, we got our music over the airwaves for free, and we was allowed to record it anytime we wanted to for free. We didn't have to pay royalties or whatever them things are we get hit for copyright on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh God, I get hammered on that shit.
Look out. We got one of the reasons I was started on this YouTube crap in the house is Mr. Sliding Sideways, Skivvy's in the house.
I wonder if it sounds any different now.
No, it's still back there. I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah, that's weird. I haven't done anything.
Well, it started to clear up right there, and then it went back to doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, we can still hear you. It just sounds like you're in a tube.
Well, you're going to have to come to the channel then to listen to my true voice.
Yep. And guys, I'll tell you what, if you all aren't doing anything on Friday nights or Fridays, you got to watch his Let It Fly Fridays, because I'll tell you what, he lets her fly. He's just like me. He don't give two craps who he pisses off. Just like Dungeon, he don't give two craps who he pisses off.
Nope.
Hey, is what it is.
I had to do something years ago when I had the first. I let the commenters pick the name for the show, because I kept getting. I would do a review, and I would go off on a tangent.
Right.
And I would catch myself, but the videos were way too long because I was on a tangent. Right. So I'd basically write it down while I was doing a review on something.
There you go.
And I would just make a list for the end of the week. And I had to do something, and then, it really dropped off. It wasn't super popular anymore, but once the channel got more people on it, and I brought it back, it's double the viewing that it was ever for, and I think it's therapeutic for me.
Well, it's therapeutic for a lot of us, because you're going to say what none of us want to say, but or haven't got to say yet, and
I've had to turn comments off on some of my videos, bro. It's been terrible.
Really?
Oh, it's been awful, bro. That HB Bronco has caused me so many issues doing videos of that, man. Like, it's just been a damn nightmare. I've deleted.
What are they giving you hell about it for? Just because it's not a Traxxas?
Because it's not a Traxxas, it's a knockoff. So you got all the Traxxas babies on there.
We ain't all fanboys. I mean, we drive Ford.
I have 1, 2. There's one over here, 3. One over there, 4. I mean, it blows my mind how people get on that brand name bullshit. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I want to support brand names too, but I have 4 $600 TRX4s for a freaking $150 I paid for the HB. I think they're 230, 240 now. If you're a new guy getting into the hobby and you want a TRX4, I'd much rather recommend buying $230, $240 for that HB over the TRX4 to get you started.
And
Common
there
sense.
you go. That's what I was going with a while ago about the AliExpress and what Jason Earl turned me on to, that All-Star, that JJRC TRX4M clone. Dude,
Yeah.
you pay $200 for the TRX4M, or you pay 40 or 55 to $75 for the clone that's got wider axles already. It's got a 2-speed transmission in it and a 370 motor, and you're paying a third to a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
You're stupid if you're going to buy a traction.
You don't even get the light kit with the TRX4, bro. You don't even get the light.
Earl's probably sitting there going, "Hey, stupid, the light kit and everything," you know, because it's got a full
what's
light.
The light kit? What's the light set? What's the pro scale light set cost for the TRX4?
Yeah, it's over $100.
Showed it to me, man. It's awesome.
I paid $11. I paid $11 for rock lights, and now I've got more lights than the pro scale comes with. That's waterproof.
I mean,
it can do 11 volts. Traxxas can't even go over 7.4 volts, and they go on fire on their pro scale light kit.
Fire.
You have to have a modulator that goes between the wiring. I know, because my buddy has the TRX4 Sport, and he decked it out in the pro scale shit, and he put the SE system in it and cranked it up to 7.4 volts. And he was like, dude, the wiring got hot, so I unhooked everything. Well, I have diodes here, and I build a lot of light kits. So I sat down here and built him in a resistor that would cut the 7.4 just to his light module to keep it at 6 volts so it wouldn't get hot.
Right.
You don't have to worry about with the HP toys, bro. It goes clear up to over the receiver will hold 10 volts alone. Just the receiver that comes stock in the new HP toys will do 10 volts. Wow. You don't have to worry about buying all that extra shit to cut it back. So those guys saying that like the Chinese knockoff shit, technically, if you really look at it deep enough, it's actually. I mean, I know people get pissed off, but it's better. I'm sorry. If you got something that'll hold 10 volts versus the Traxxas you're pushing it at the limit at 7.4. If I turned my iMod up to 8.4 volts, it smokes. The Traxxas servos let magic smoke out at 8.4 volts. That HB Toys ran an entire 4-hour trail at 8.4 volts and didn't burn up. It was just weak. It just didn't have the power. But it still took the voltage. And the Traxxas servos won't take it. I know. I've got 5 of them laying over here on the bench. They're all burned up because I work on everybody's shit here.
Right.
I mean,
you got to get the BEC with the Traxxas. The HB, you can just throw whatever you want in it, and it doesn't need a BEC.
Yep.
No. I mean, I did that video where I put the iMod in that HB. That iMod cost me $35. It'll go clear up to 6S. You can put a 6S pack in that HB Toys. That thing will run 57 miles an hour on 6S. That system will do 6S.
Wow.
You can't build that. I have a little over $300 in that HB with a system that'll do 6S if you want to be stupid. I mean, it's a crawler, you know what I mean? But
right.
So you're paying, you're going to have, even if you put upgraded servos in that thing, you're still not going to have nowhere near the money that you're going to have in that. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I like Traxxas. I like Axial.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, I love that damn Charisma.
You don't always have that money, you know. There are cheaper options out there to get into the hobby. You know, you don't always have to go get the biggest, the baddest. And now Bonita Creek does make a pretty good pretty good point that they are very, the TRX4Ms are durable as heck. You know,
sure.
I don't know as much about on the JJ RC one as yet because I haven't tested it. But
they're not durable.
What was the name of that site where you was getting those files for the tracking head and stuff for the
Night Customs?
Night Customs, yeah.
Night Customs. If you got a 3D printer, now that he just sells the files,
Nathan's the one that made Sandwich and that new bullet chassis that I'm getting. Oh, y'all guys, wait till you see it. It pops. It's beautiful. It's classy. I told him I wanted it to be classy. It's white.
I've seen your pictures today. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I posted it on Facebook. If you're following me on Facebook, you can go watch it or check them out. It's beautiful. It's Tennessee volunteer collars, but that's okay. It's beautiful. It pops. It's white with the orange highlights. Oh man, it's sexy. I can't wait to get this thing.
Well, Nathan, when it comes to classy, you are the first name I think of.
I mean, right? You know.
Now, unfortunately, handsome is for Dungeon, not for you.
Oh,
You're classy. He's
it's a
handsome.
ball head, ain't it?
Well, yeah, you can't grab a hold of him so he can get away faster. That's a marketable skill.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right.
A marketable skill. I'm going to have to use that one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is right here. This is my thing. I said this on Friday.
Right.
Here's 3 guys who we've all interacted in our personal world with each other.
Right.
This is what I wish YouTube could be like. Not
we're here to make it.
Not everybody after each other. Oh, I can't be on there because we're competitors.
There ain't no competitive. There's no competition.
We're 3 people with the same mindset that found each other through the interweb.
Yep.
And Nathan introduced me to this.
Yeah.
Talking with pictures.
Scav sliding sideways is the one that did it to me.
Dungeon, I just throw him on the shelf and talk in the air.
Yep.
Bro, everybody YouTube wise, like everybody's chasing it. Not everybody, but if you look at most of the channels, they're chasing after the subscribers, which really doesn't make a shit a bit of difference. They're chasing after that viewing hours, which is really what matters. If you meet that criteria of getting your monetization with the subscriber count, the viewing hours is really, if you're really into doing it for making money, which I don't really give a shit one way or the other. I do it to try to help people out. Unfortunately, I've noticed that here lately, the guys giving the information, the guys just automatically go for that flashy flash. You know what I mean? Giving all that information. You know, I'm not saying the bigger channels don't give you good information, because you got guys like Crawler Canyon that are fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, but you got a lot of these other guys that I call them bro channels. They just all they care about is pushing that product and content, and they want to get sponsors and get more free stuff, and that's not what the hobby should be about. That's just my opinion.
Right.
You know, I want to help people. That's the only reason why it's getting harder to do. Like I said, I had to turn comments off in videos because, like, my RC 4-wheel drive Trail Finder 3 videos got so much hate from, like, the RC 4-wheel drive community. Like, I got kicked out of the one Facebook group that was the big Facebook group because, you know, I mean, I've proved it I don't know how many times the TF3 is a better scalar platform and performance than the TF2 over and over again. And it got me so much blamed on hate and stuff. I had people trying to, like, boycott my channel on the RC 4-wheel drive group. I had one guy that I was friends with. It pissed him off so much, he was trying to get people not to even watch my channel because, you know, because of what I was doing. I mean, it's ridiculous, man, these guys. I took a huge hit. I had, like, if it wasn't for Dino, I don't know if anybody on here, Dino RC,
yeah,
if it wouldn't have been for him, because I hit my monetization, and then when all that RC 4-wheel drive stuff started in that Facebook group, because I mainly did the, you know, leaf spring scale stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I had, like, the guy, I'm not going to mention, you know, his name or anything, like, a bunch of those guys went together and was, like, trying to boycott my YouTube channel because of what, you know, they got pissed off because I proved them all wrong. And, you know, they got real pissy about it because they follow all these big YouTube channels, you know, and everybody instantly jumped on, I hate the Trail Finder 3 because of the scale motor size, which doesn't make a shit a bit of difference one way or the other.
Right.
When you're talking about performance, you know, the Trail Finder 3, take it out of the box, it's 60/40. The TF2 is awful out of the box. It doesn't have, either the weight bias isn't there. It doesn't have a nice smooth 2-speed transmission. RC 4-wheel drive outdid themselves with the TF3, and then all those bigger channels constantly bitching and crying about it. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, they're big channels that a lot of people watch, and I watch, that I have respect for. But I lost respect for those bigger channels when they went on there just to cut on a product that you got for effing free to begin with. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? Just because they knew, really, when it had all the same shortcomings as the TF2 when it comes to suspension, there was no difference there, and they all immediately went there and started just bashing on the product, bashing on the product. And it wasn't even, and then everybody jumped on that bandwagon. That's the problem you get with those big channels. They're all buddies. They all follow one another. And then next thing you know, this buddy sends that buddy the same truck. This guy cries and bitches and whines about it. Then the next guy cries. That's not how I am, man. If something's shit, I tell you it's shit. If something's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. I paid for it with my own money. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of RC four-wheel drive shit over here. I would sell all my RC four-wheel drive shit and keep the Trailfinder 3. That's how good it is, if you're talking performance-wise. Pound for pound, the TF3 kicks the shit out of any of those TF2s. I don't care what anybody says. I've ran all of them. I've done it for years. You know, until you start getting into, you know, all the Twisted Fab, $300 leaf spring packs and all the fancy shit. Yeah, then you get out of scale. That's just my opinion. When you start running those big goofy tires and shit. But guys take offense to hearing all the truth when you tell people that stuff. So.
Right. You know, and then there's the difference in between. You got the scale guys, then you got comp guys, but then there's guys that want to get in there and try to make comp trucks out of scale trucks, and
they're not made for
it. They're not meant for it.
I can put a 460 in a Pinto and run a 10-second quarter mile, but I can also take a Mustang GT and do it too, probably cheaper.
Yeah, way cheaper. Right. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, you gotta admit though, I lost respect for RC four-wheel drive because they had this finally a completely new rig in the TF3, and they pulled it because of basically the bad reviews from the YouTubers.
It was SVG that
long enough for, you know, us regular Joes. I wanted one.
Right.
They pulled it. They said it was because of licensing.
Nah.
They never fixed they could have, TWS included a sticker on the CJ kit. Right. So they showed that in the advertisement, but guess where the sticker is? In the bottom of the box. So you get two different grills. One's a functional one is just Lexan. And the Michigan now, they got the lawsuit too. They show that hideous grill, but when you buy it and you get it, that hideous grill is laying in the box. So you still get the good grill, and they say includes two grills. So they said, screw you, license crap. We're going to sell it anyways. I wish at this point they would bring the 3 back, so those of us who didn't get to try it can try it, because I watched 4 videos, I think. Dungeon's only video that praises the truck. The other 3, or the other 2, no, the other 3, they broke the truck the first drive out. Yep. So they say. I watched a particular one over and over again, and I don't see how the part broke that broke for him.
Right.
And he instantly, that video, this thing, it's a big letdown, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks later, the truck was gone. And they
look at the video where I jumped mine. I jumped mine 3 feet into the creek bed over and over again.
I know. I love watching your video. You beat the crap out of it. He drove over some rocks and it broke.
They're full of shit.
Now, I want to tell y'all something. You want to talk about a rig that took some hits? Well, me and Alex was on a daggone just a video chat, and I had it sitting on my course right here where I do my little bit of a side hill and stuff. And, you know, you never tell a redneck to do something, and you never tell a redneck not to do something, because what do you think a redneck would do? Oh, well, I figured, you know, it would just go up and it would go over top instead of going around the curve like that's the way I hit it, you know. Son, it hit that bank like it was a Bristol, son. It said, "Meow." And whatever it hit, I got a piece of slot car track that is my other part of the hill coming up. I hardly ever come this way. Well, I did it. I buried the daggone slot car track up underneath that servo horn, dude. I mean, you could ask me, I had to almost break that servo or break that slot car track to get it off. And that's a 3D printed body. Right there. Just like that right there. Dude, it hit it full bore. And with that goop motor in it, it don't go slow, and it isn't very easy whenever it does it. It's got torque in it. It goes. It had that piece of the grill right there stuck up underneath that piece of slot car track. I pulled it off. There wasn't even nothing wrong with it.
That's good 3D printing right there.
On Facebook, guys, $35 for this chassis and this skid. The shooter chassis is going to be $70, but you're getting all your links, you're getting all your skid, and you're getting your chassis.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. And you have to get you a carrier bearing from Profit Designs and some and an extra drive shaft from normal, because you're going to need 2 drive shafts on the normal where you get the carrier bearing system on this. You're going to need 3. So, I mean, it's just the short deadbolt front end one just for your stuff from your carrier bearing. But guys, these things are durable. They're 3D printed, yeah, but they're 3 layers thick PLA. Plus, they rock. I mean, this thing is durable. It's redneck.
Jerry was talking about RC 4-wheel drive. Dude, my buddy came up with the steering conversion for the front of that Trail Finder 3. And I sent them the videos and the template to fix the steering issues with that Trail Finder 3. I even offered to send them the aluminum mount to front mount the servo for that TF3 because that was everybody's main complaint. It won't steer.
Right.
And the minute they seen my channel, they're like, we don't give a shit about you because, you're too small, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I was the only one that was trying to help them. I didn't ask for anything. I just offered the stuff to them and was like, you can have the design. I didn't design it. My buddy made we cut that out of aluminum. I'm like, I'll even pay to mail you the part and you guys can take the TF3 you have in stock. You can easily take that into the company that size and fabricate a nice 70-75 aluminum plate to bolt to the front end. You don't got to change anything else. You just bolt it in. Stock servo. My stock servo's been in that truck. I couldn't tell you how many miles. And RC 4-wheel drive was like, you're a piss ant. I didn't take offense to it because I like their shit. But if that would have been one of those other guys like RC Every Day, or it would have been, not throwing anybody into the bus, you know what I mean? They'd have been all over that like flies on crap, but then they just decided to do away with it, you know what I mean? And it was all with those bigger channels, dude. It was all, and don't get me wrong, I still love those guys, but single-handedly 3 channels killed that platform.
Love's a strong word.
Right.
I still support them because I when it comes to scale, the only one that beats them, is Boom Racing, and Boom Racing bodies are just god awful ugly.
Yeah,
I'm not a Land Rover guy. You know what I mean? I don't have a monocle and a cane, and I like Toyotas and Blazers and K10 Chevy pickups. I'm a redneck. I don't give 2 shits about a Land Rover or Range Rover. That's just not me, man. I mean, he don't hold it in America.
He drinks his drink.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
What?
Give me a Toyota all day.
What are you guys talking about?
I could do it too.
He has to drink it like a distinguished gentleman.
Distinguished gentleman.
Look at that. But look what he did. Don't let him lie to you. You look at that. There's no back on that.
It's a pickup truck. I'm a hillbilly.
Me
I
too.
used to take the dogs and shit. And the toaster out.
We need to do that to the Broncos.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Damn
That
you,
would
and
improve them.
you're always in my head.
I've been thinking about that for days, looking at this Bronco in the bench, thinking, how can I cut that and make it look good?
Well, let me cut mine since it was free.
Did you see what Stay Small says? I have another grave robber coming soon. Ghostbusters meets Breaking Bad. Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Need any
Dude, that
real
grave robber body's nice.
I got one in the damn garage that my wife did, or out in the shed.
Heck yeah.
She
Oh,
did
the
it as a
HBI
hearse.
body?
She's got a body, the legs hanging out the back window, like he's
Nice.
falling out.
They
She
just
was
came
in
out
it.
with all that, man. They just re-released everything. HBI is re-releasing all that stuff.
That's one
Oh,
thing
they
I
got-
had to do, y'all. The alien that tried to rob my garage. Well, Russ Bucket took care of it for him. Hold on. Or for me. Hold on. There, you see?
Nice.
They scattered him.
Oh, that's nice.
But they stole his daggone everything out from under him after he did it. The other aliens got mad and just stole all his daggone parts.
Nice. Hey, fellas, I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, bub. Take your time.
Ooh.
What you got going on there now?
Well, since he was talking about cutting the top off, oh, now I got to move this. Oh, wait a minute. I got this. I got this gimbal.
Haha.
It's got the dang thing on it, just like a Jeep.
Oh.
I could come down right there.
Yep. You sure can.
I mean, that would be a super short pickup truck, but
Well, it looked like one of them cyber trucks or one of them other ones that come out.
oh, you be quiet with your cyber truck.
Hey, it's an all-electric RC car. Why wouldn't everybody want a cyber truck? They're already electric, and they're RC.
They're sharp as hell. What's my thing doing? You actually rub them. I actually got to see them 2 years ago. We were in Texas for work, and I didn't care. I was going to caress some dude's truck out of the parking lot.
Right.
They're really sharp. I mean, they do look like a toy.
The fit and finish on them is something to be desired, from what I've been told.
Oh, way big.
Yeah.
I had my other prop. This is 1980s technology that I haven't broke yet. I was doing that for Dungeon. You know, I put the wrong gearing in it, but it is Tamiya. But this truck is flipped and rolled. And they say the RC four-wheel drive, top of the line, brand new model is going to break right out of the box.
Right.
I built this, and it doesn't break. So I hate hearing that crap.
Right.
And that's what runs people off from hobbies like the Brats, the Charisma, the MSTs. 2 years ago, you could get them here. Now, all of a sudden, it's dried up.
Yeah.
I really like MST, and I like the Charisma stuff. And now, oh, there we go. I haven't done the review of it.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know, that's another Charisma right there.
Oh, now that's sweet. That's that Audi, ain't it?
Yeah, and I'm already wearing the tires on it. But here's the problem. My guy is, when I bought it from the hobby shop, this body post was broke when I got it. So I glued it 3 times. It can't hold up. He can't get me one right now. So I was actually, when you sent me the link today, I was actually trying to find some extra body post for it. But
right.
this thing's brutal. And it's brutal on 3S. I can't even tell which was the tires are already wearing. And look at everyone, when these came out, everyone was saying, oh man, the belly plate, this has been off the road, on the road. It has no damage on this belly plate, just up front and on the back.
Where it's supposed to be.
They're doing their job.
Yeah.
And awesome. It's a $300 8 scale.
That's sweet.
I don't know about getting tires for it, but you know what? For $300, who cares?
Yep.
No. Right.
I mean, I'll find some tires. I found them for my that Maverick. I couldn't find tires for it. So I took some old 8 scales I had sitting in the bin.
Right.
I cut the body. That's a $250. That's the kind of thing. That's a $250 rally car. And what's everyone going to say? Oh, that's just a cheap Chinese version of an HPI. It's an HPI.
Or Chinese versions, like you said.
Oh, little trucks.
Like that WPL, man.
Hey,
People
that's
shit
that
on
Jimmy.
their
That's a
WPL.
badass little rig right there. Oh, look, we got twinsies.
How's that happen? What the hell?
And why are they both blue?
Yeah.
That's messed up, man.
RC 4-wheel drive wheels and tires.
Yep.
MST. This was like $200.
Yep.
Like 4 years ago. MST. I love it.
Right. Now, for you
It's
guys
a 10
that don't
scale.
know. Oh, go ahead.
It's a 10 scale. It's tiny. It's got huge axles on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's overbuilt. MST.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell
And
me
it's
again,
scale.
people, how that's a piece of crap. Look at that dirty little sucker. This is ran for its life from the dogs out in the backyard through the mud and the dirt. Ran. I mean, it's fast, but it's fun as shit. And there's so many light options for it for putting a light kit in it.
Yep.
Still got the exhaust on it. MST, like $200.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't get them anymore.
Right. Wow.
And I'll be damned if and Dungeons got me trying to get that WPL and nobody will ship it to me.
Can't beat those, man. Hard body, metal axles. You can literally build that, run it on 3S, buy all their upgrades, and I think I have like maybe $125 in that. You know what I mean? Steel out dry shafts. I mean, the weak point is the leaf spring, but if you drive it scale, you know what I mean? It's still a hard body. I've had guys say, well, they're toy grade. Well, technically, isn't any damn thing almost with a hard body? Couldn't you consider it almost damn toy grade? I mean,
right.
If
I
you
don't get
can't
it.
replace the parts in it, it's a toy grade. If you can, it's
and
hobby
you
grade.
can. And you can buy all the upgrade parts for this. And this thing actually goes out. I go out with friends with RC four-wheel drive stuff, and it hangs right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you need affiliate links, I make a little bit of money, but I can drop them in the on the channel anytime anybody needs them. All you gotta do is just holler. Tell me what you're looking for. I've been dropping some. I've got that All-Star, the TRX 4M clone. It's in my links on the post. Now what Full Stand was talking about there a minute ago about Waffles putting the Valkyr in the Toyota. Now, whenever she means Toyota, she's not talking the Tacoma or anything like that. She's talking about in his Previa that he just bought for his day-to-day driver. Okay, old Toyota.
You say it like there's something wrong with a Previa, sir.
No, he wait till y'all see what he's going to do to this thing. He's already lifted it, put big tires on it, put lockers in it, and it's a 2-wheel drive Previa. Us. It's going to be awesome.
That's a sweet van.
Hey, dude, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. Hey, Woods, you be good, brother. Thank you for stopping in. Woods said he's jumping up off here, guys.
And that Previa is going to be his Gambler 500 rig.
What's that? Hold on. What was that, Alex?
I said that Previa is going to be his Gambler 500 rig.
Yeah, that's right. Right. I knew it was something I just couldn't remember, and you know how my brain goes. That's why I got it. And at least you guys didn't freak out like Urban did the other night and think it was the second coming of Jesus. Urban's like, yeah, Alex scared the hell out of him, son.
I hear voices all the time.
Hey, yeah, I know, but I know what those voices sound like, you know. Don't bother me. But yeah, you all got to go back and watch that Urban Legend podcast that I did with him, because right at about half hour before the end of it, my phone starts messing up and I'm flipped upside down dancing on the ceiling. Oh, it was great. I love it.
I watched that.
Get down,
like they was pulling to take over, and Alex popped out of the back like, I ain't having it. It was
I'm
fun.
getting ready to toss a lift kit in that 01 Crown Vic that I've got that used to be my old work car. We're going to lift it up, and I'm not exactly for sure. I think I'm going to try to get a set of 31 1050s underneath of it, because I've already got the wheels and tires up here off an old Ford. They'll go right on that Crown Vic. It's
It's the 5-bolt lug pattern on it.
Yeah, I think they sell a 4-inch lift for those, but you got to buy you got to custom make the drop. I forget the but the kit for that Crown Vic doesn't cost that much money. But I think we're gonna do the lift on it. That's gonna be my son's first car to drive. But I wanted to put some lift in it, and man, those Crown Vics look tough as shit with the lift kits in them. He's got a drone.
Locker. They put the locker in her taco, not in the Previa. I apologize.
Okay. I seen the Tacoma locker.
Yeah.
He commented. I can actually read the comments. I usually can't see them.
I hear you. Yeah, it was wild.
I just
saw
one from Stay Small. Hey, look, it's a
FPV cameras for RC cars. That's the only thing I'm good with drones with.
Vivitar.
I feel that.
I paid $60 for this. It's a Chinese knockoff drone.
Yep.
It's a Chinese knockoff of a Chinese knockoff. $60. This little sucker is awesome. I can fly this. No support. It's got one battery. Yep. I can't get another one, but I had to just shoo the dogs because they saw it. But
they love it.
Does this look familiar from any other drone on what it does when you put it in its fancy storage box?
My Vivitar looks like that.
That is a Vivitar.
You're what? This is a Vivitar. But look at it.
Okay.
Now the app is a little bit weird, but it looks like a DJI.
Yep.
It freezes a lot, but the quality is really good.
It's actually, it says it's 4K camera, and it is a 4K camera, because that's the one I just turned into an FPV camera for my car.
Yeah, I was going to do that with, where's that other one? Oh, I've got this thing was the first one I learned to fly on. This was a Dromeda.
Yeah.
But
I've got one of those too.
I told you we're on the same sheet of music. But they stopped doing the app, so the camera's useless on this now.
Yep.
But I paid $100 for this. Paid $60 for this.
Right.
I'm gonna stick with knockoffs all day long.
I'll be up in a minute.
Now I will say on the DJI,
come down,
dude, there's so much difference that you can go out so far. I mean, if you haven't been over, check out Sleek Hobbies RC on YouTube. Sleek goes out and flies his DJI 4, the Phantom 3. Sorry, not yet. He flies it out 2.5, 3 miles, 5,000 feet, whatever.
We're busy.
Well, no, you
Nathan,
don't.
have you seen the footage from Jeremy Boggs on 304 RC? That's what he's got to DJI.
I will say this:
DJI, whatever it's called.
They're crazy.
They'll do on their own for you for the video and like for video and RCs and
He's
stuff.
got that one that'll follow.
Yeah. Oh, and it'll do all kinds of stuff. But
you have to have a transponder, though. You have to have a transponder mounted into what? Either you carry it on you or you can mount it in an RC. Because I was hoping he'd bring it on that last video. There's videos I had where I mounted my that Akaso camera to my hauler. That's how I shot all those videos, was from the camera on the hauler.
Right.
Because it's just a tank, bro. Like them haulers is just like, if you can't get there with that hauler, then you shouldn't be driving a crawler. Because those haulers will make the worst driver. You know what I mean? They're just point and go almost with that Traxxas hauler. But man, that Akaso camera just mounted to that in a waterproof case.
Yeah,
dude, that thing just filmed so good. But when he went out with us, I think he used to live down by you.
Yeah, he was down in St. Albans. Yeah, he's down in Tennessee.
Yeah, he's in Tennessee. But I was hoping he would bring that, because you can mount that transponder and set your fly height, and it'll just follow. It's a tracker.
Yep.
On that DJI, I don't know what one it is, but man, that thing will fly forever on one battery. It's not like a 2-hour. Man, you're right. Those things go for miles, bro. Like they'll just keep going.
As long as you have,
they should for what they charge for them.
Yeah. As long as you have a visual line to where you could, if you could actually see it.
Yep.
I mean, they'll go.
I'd love to have one to shoot video.
Now,
yes, it does.
They've got DJI's got the one that's made just for content creators to do the follow and stuff.
That's what he's got.
And dude, they're wicked.
When I was still at the dealership, my boss got one. His wife bought it for Christmas. He flew a half a mile away to the other dealership and was screwing with the salesman on the line. And then he flew it. He just hit return.
Yeah, return home.
We couldn't see it anywhere.
Yep.
And we're watching.
You hear it about 300 feet above you, and you can hear it.
And it came and it landed within a foot of where it took off. And I said, "Oh, I want one of them." And it was $1,500. And I said, "Oh, holy crap! I'm not buying that." They're over $3,000 now for the same one.
Nathan, there's a guy that lives down by you that has one of those that does filming. I can't remember his name.
He's below me. He's down in Mingo County. The guy that's the camping guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's down in Williamson. He's down where I used to live, all the way down in right next to Pikeville, Kentucky, right on the line.
He offered to meet me to do some filming.
Yeah. Yeah, he does very good with his. My buddy Mike Dudley, the one that does my drone footage for me sometimes. The only one, he's only did one. That one where I was down there in the mud holes playing, but
look good though.
He turned me on to it, and he's real good at it.
I can't fly worth anything, man. I crashed all of them.
Well, and something that I have found out is if you're not good at flying and you buy a cheaper drone, it's not going to help you as much as it is if you buy actual quality drone, because of the simple fact of the GPS hold and all the features, the avoidance, the obstacle avoidance and stuff, because I'm just no good at flying.
That's not that Vivitar. That Vivitar is pretty good for that. It's got the it's got the gyro in it, and you got to do. It sucks because you can't just start it. You have to turn it on. You have to calibrate it. You have to get this, but it flies good. And it takes good pictures, except for when I get close to something and go, "Oh crap," and I pull it back. And that's what makes the video screw up.
Right.
But if I'm smooth, it takes really good video. So I'm working on smooth. I mean, back in the day with the ladies, not so much with the drones nowadays.
Oh, and by the way, everybody in the chat vote yes for Waffles getting a goat. Everybody vote right now. Yes for getting Waffles a goat.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Yeah,
Get him a goat?
Yeah, Waffles got to get a goat, right?
Oh, God, shut up, Peter.
Got to get a goat. Now, this started about 3 weeks ago on Waffles Live, and we was all talking that somehow goats got brought up. Well, RC Granny said that she was sending him 2 goats and a roux. I think is what it was, wasn't it, Granny? Yeah, get a goat, Waffles. Yep. See, and Full Sin says no, but we're just gonna have to override her somehow, and we get everybody to start voting. Waffles get a goat. He'll have to get a goat mascot. I mean, you know, he can't let his
I shut your dirty mouth. I got that one.
Yeah, and a big bacon. Yes, Grady, I like that too.
He needs to stop talking about goats, because if Miss Diane hears us talking about getting goats, she's gonna. I got all this space out back.
Hey,
she's gonna want to
everybody
go.
in the chat, Jerry needs to go.
No mowing. You never have to mow anymore. Just get a goat.
Yeah, but they're psychos.
No,
They are, especially drunk.
You don't let them get drunk. You can't get the goats drunk, Jerry. They're not like a horse, okay? They won't keep following you around and just nickering.
Goats or horses? I mean, goats or dogs? I mean, what's the difference? Isn't that what booze is for?
That's true. It's universal.
I got a horse drunk. Me and the horse both was about drunk, but he drank half a bottle of Dickel, but half gallon of Dickel by himself. Ain't no wonder he was drunk.
Why am I not surprised?
He stole the jug from me. I had it sitting up on the fence post. I didn't know that the horse was even in the field, and he came around, and about the time he grabbed my bottle, the owner's going, "Don't let him." Oh man, he's going to break out the party again tonight. I was like, "What?" I turned around, and there went my bottle of George Dickel's. Horse taking off.
How long did you argue with the goat about taking your booze? You did argue with him, didn't you?
This was a horse whenever he stole it.
Well, the horse. How long did you argue with him about taking your booze?
I didn't have a choice. Some bitch stole it. I had to go get another bottle. Huh?
Did you chase him down?
By the time I got it. He was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic horse. I mean, horse.
Alcoholic.
Swear to God,
and you told him that, though, didn't you?
Well, I didn't know he was until after he stole it. But his owner told me, he said, "Damn it, he's going to be breaking out of the barn and everything tonight." I said, "What?" He said, "Is that George Dickel?" I said, "Yep." He said, "Oh, Lord." He said, "I'm going to have fence broke, barn broke." I said, "I can't help it. You didn't tell me that you had an alcoholic in the field."
He's a horse, man. Sleep it off and carry on the next day.
Dude, scared me to death after he done stole it. I was like, well, heck, if you're going to drink that, you're going to drink this. So I handed him the ET, and he was drinking it too. We kept eating shots after shots. We was buddies all night until some bitch laid down. You ever tried to get an 1,800-pound, about 15 and a half hand horse up after they're drunk and laid down?
Not a drunk one, but a sober one.
It ain't
Sober's
easy.
bad enough.
Oh, my Lord.
I had horses in Michigan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Something you don't learn in Alaska. I'd really love to have a horse again. Hey, excuse me.
He says, "You got one right here."
Yeah, I got a baby one. Yeah. What are you doing?
There's no horses.
My horse dogs. Where are you at? Come here, baby. Come here, little tiny baby. 1-year-old baby.
Yeah, 1 year. I'm telling you.
Tiberius is only a year. Come here, baby.
Wow.
Come here, up here. Well,
now,
he's interrupted a couple times already.
Yeah. He's a good boy, though. Now, he says, he says, "I look like I got some of WB's medicine."
Yeah. He's a year-old baby right there.
I hear you.
He's a mutant. Okay, good boy, lay down.
Now, this question was written specifically for you whenever I was doing all my figuring out messages and stuff and questions is who I was going to ask. What can manufacturers do better to further the hobby than what they're doing right now?
They can do exactly what Rolarlo's doing. There's not a single manufacturer.
I will agree with that 100%.
Because if you go on Facebook and you like the 3 groups, I think it is, there's Rolarlo, Rolarlo Enthusiasts.
Then you got the Rolarlo Omni Terminator group.
Right, and then you have the MKJK group.
See, I'm not in it because I don't have one of those.
You've got two workers from the company who are constantly there.
Yep.
Now, I mean, I get to say that a lot. I've been around a long time. I have never seen, since this multimedia stuff's been coming out, social media, I have never seen a group who does that. And you get people that are on there and they're bitching to bitch.
Yep.
And then the moderators come on and say, hey, DM me, give me your information, I'll fix it.
Yep.
And then they vanish. So you know they're bullshit. But what they're doing right now, it was tedious, but I watched just because I like to keep up on this Rolarlo to see how they're doing.
Right.
They had a live stream fix it video.
Yeah.
Or live stream.
Yeah.
The grasp of the English language and the questions being asked, there was a little bit of a mix there, but they were making the effort. Yeah. Who other than Red Cat does a live stream where they're talking to their customer base?
Nobody. Annie and Andy and all those are great people, man. They seem like they're really working hard for the company. Now,
well, and the thing is, they have to cater their products to their main base in China, but they're diversifying. But you look at China, and these big scale things are not big in China. It's all this 12 scale and these little bashers, and that's what they're catering to. But to everyone I'm hearing talk about owning those, they're beating the crap out of them.
No, dude, I beat the hell out of mine, and it finally worked. I beat it.
Then, you know, like I did with my JK and MK, I bought $200 worth of parts in a box just in case, you know, something breaks. Well, nothing's broke, so I've started putting some of it on the vehicles just to do something with them.
Right.
But, you know, I started out Axial RC four-wheel drive. You never heard from them. You sent them messages or something. You never heard from them. But Axial made good products, and I was pretty loyal with Axial.
Until Horizon Hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I bought one vehicle from Horizon Hobbies, and that was, well, technically 2, but we know that the AMG 6x6 was technically Axial.
Yeah.
But from what I heard, the SCX 10.3 was already done before Horizon bought them.
Right.
But right now, nope, not buying anything from Horizon. But Rolarlo, you know, I'm not really into the small scale stuff, so that doesn't really blow my skirt up. But I'm going to tell you, between my purchases and other people on the link, Rolarlo's got a lot of money from me. Yep. And with a week shipping time, hey, I mean, and none of the people that work at Rolarlo are named Toucan, so I know I'm going to get my stuff. Got that, Dungeon? Did you catch that little dig? I should have listened to you and avoided my heartache.
Now, this is the second time in within just over a week I've heard him say that.
Yeah,
Did you
you
want to
gotta
write
be careful where you're buying. Like, listen, man, that the one that you were talking about Friday, I tried to work a deal. I went straight to HG on the HGP 407 truck, and because I wanted something different than RC four-wheel drive, basically, and I was really impressed with that HGP 407 truck, with what can be done with it. So I went to that hobby, the name that you mentioned in that video, and I tried to work a deal because, believe it or not, that guy is like a direct line dealer, is what I was told from HG, because I had several emails where I messaged HG back and forth directly. And HG told me that, look, we don't work with YouTubers no more. That's what HG straight up told me. Don't matter who they are, what you got subscriber count, how big you are. HG just straight up told me we don't do any kind of collaborations with YouTube. But they gave me three dealers that are big dealers for HG products, and I contacted that one that you had mentioned and had worked a deal with that seller. And it's a hobby shop. He literally is a legit hobby shop. He's in China, is where he's at. And I worked a deal where we were going to do like a payout for 2 HG trucks, where I was going to do your main HG platform and then do a scale build. And we had it all worked out, several emails back and forth, which wasn't easy in talking to each other on live chat, because of the language barrier, because, he's in China. So it was a lot of time I spent. But anyhow, I worked it out and paid for it. And I'm like, look, I'll pay you through PayPal. I paid him. Within 36 hours, I got a refund completely in total. And then I got a tracking number with one of the trucks and shit. And he totally backpedaled, went back on the deal, and was like, I can't ship the other truck, because the deal was I was going to build one of those trucks into a very easily modified scale truck, ship it back to them, which was going to in turn go to HG. And HG was going to try to throw their hat in the ring with doing a scale truck to compete with, like, say, the RC four-wheel drive, but it was going to be a budget. That's where that video came with, like, the knockoff Chinese RC four-wheel drive axles, because all that stuff is the stuff that dealer deals.
Right.
So that's how all that got started on that video, when I started putting those together. And then he just immediately backpedaled, sent me a refund like that for the one truck. I got the one, and I went ahead and proceeded with that build. Either way, it's stalled out now, because once you start making modifications to that platform, the gearing issues that truck has is just, it doesn't work when you're wanting to have a play bash truck with, and still be able to crawl. But that was something that dealer, I realized right there, was he was just kind of full of it. In short, that's all I can say on that. When you mentioned that name on there,
Right.
I wouldn't recommend anybody buy anything.
Well, no, he told me that it was lost in shipping. Well, it was coming from.
He's full of it.
It was coming from New Jersey, and he's basically saying it got lost in shipping in his warehouse, because FedEx still says they haven't been picked up yet.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, okay, so nobody else will know. There it is. I couldn't resist.
Yes.
So
the
we'll have
MP6.
similar but different. It's the same chassis, but
Yeah, yeah.
One of the best platforms that don't get any recognition at all.
Cross
That
RC.
Cross RC is the
Yeah.
shit, man. I'm telling you.
I've been
That's the
seeing a lot
NT6.
more nice stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, and they're in Ohio, bro. Like they have a warehouse in Ohio.
That's
That's
awesome.
where mine's coming. It's
I want
coming
the
from
NT6
Ohio,
will be my
priority
next
mail.
Hey, Nas, be good, brother. Be safe. I understand, man. Get you some rest. You need all that daggone beauty sleep you can get if you're going to be pretty like us.
He better get a lot of sleep then. I'm still trying to get that pretty.
Yeah, you'll get there one day, bud.
One day. That's what it was
That's what
supposed to be.
what I want.
That's the one it was supposed to be.
JT6, yep.
And now he's raised the price on it and wants you to pay $266 in shipping.
Nah,
Crooked.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get the NT6 before the JT6. The JT and the AT6 are built on the same platform, but the axles in the cross are like you have Traxxas right here with the 6x6s, and you have cross is way up here. Transmission and axles in the cross, you have anti-rotation. You have the counterclockwise rotation. So Cross took out the problem with the TRX4, which is torque twist. So Cross fixed the torque twist. Not only did they fix the torque twist, they put a planetary output, like the easiest way for like the rednecks is like the PTOs. So you have a separate output. You have two outputs on the transmission on the Cross RC. So not only did they fix the TRX4 problem with the torque twist, you can now buy one set of axles to have spare for the Cross RC, and you don't have to buy that special stupid center differential that you have to buy for the TRX6s.
Yeah.
So you can buy one rear axle. It fits rear and middle and front. All that stuff's interchangeable with the Cross RC if you break something. You don't have to have that special design center axle.
Right.
They have a separate output. That's why I love the Cross fixed everything wrong with the TRX4 and the TRX6. I'm assuming that the AT4 probably has the counter rotating, the anti-torque twist transmission,
Yep.
the same as I don't know why it'd be any different, why they would make it different. But that's the problem with the TRX4. I don't care. Like I just sold my UGRC Dr. Kleimenstein comp rig. Like the problem with that TRX4 is no matter what you do, I don't care what you do with it, you have torque twist. The minute you put that TRX4 platform in a bind, you get that right front wheel just lifts. The Cross doesn't do that. It keeps all four or all six wheels constantly making contact. So you don't get that lift up. You don't need all that extra weight that the TRX4 needs in the front. It blows my mind that the Cross stuff isn't more popular here in the States. I mean, I know because it's not the big three. You got the big three, Axial, Traxxas, and that's just, you got those big names and everybody pushes them. But that Cross did a lot better job. You got this guy up here, man, G-Made. I think they probably, you know what I mean, that they have the transmission that does away with the torque twist. Those things are killer, man. You can't even tell that thing has a freaking SUV body on it.
Right.
You don't even need any brass on the front of it, and it's a straight axle.
Yeah. What's up, Robert?
That's that brand name crap. Because I got an HC6, and if it wasn't a 5-ton deuce and a half truck, and because of my military, I wouldn't have spent $600 on an unknown company.
Right.
But that sucker's all metal. I now have converted it to a semi. It pulls my 20-pound HG trailer around.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when they first came out, what were the big names saying? The transmissions are crap. The all metal axle with all metal gears are crap. Tell me how that works.
That doesn't make any sense.
But that truck, it's a 2-speed. I've never had a problem with. I had it for years, and it's a scale military truck. So, I mean, it's just like what you think with these name brands. They had to get that following at first, and then once all the lemmings are jumping off the cliff together, then they'll start buying more of them. But you and I have realized G-Made, Cross, they're quality companies. You know what, Cross? I'll try to keep you in business because, now that I can't get anything more free from AliExpress and I have to pay for it, I don't want to use them anymore. So I need to go spend my money somewhere else. And I mean,
my next Cross will come from Cross.
Yeah.
Someday I'm going to get it.
You all play amongst yourselves for a minute. Shop Dog's got to go out and check the yard. He's got to pee. So I'll be right back. Y'all play amongst yourselves. Behave, Joe.
Put a pee pad down.
That's what I do.
Mine are all sleeping, laying around me on the floor, the lazy dogs.
But isn't that crazy, man? Like, you just, like, all these bigger YouTubers take, it's the name. If you notice, if you actually take the time and sit and watch, like, some of the smaller channels, and then take the time and actually pay attention, because a lot of people, I know because I look at analytics, a lot of people, like, they just, the minute you start talking about something that's like an off-brand, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but the minute you start talking, like my video with the charisma, like the minute, like, people I've noticed, like, I broke it down and went to the frame where I mentioned charisma. It was like a snap, like half the audience immediately dropped out of that video and quits watching because they realized, oh, well, it's about a charisma. Nobody gives a shit about charisma because it doesn't say Axial and it doesn't say Traxxas or whatever other big name. Like, RC four-wheel drive is kind of a big thing here in the States now. They didn't used to be, but if I would have said that Subaru Brat was like on a comp chassis, some kind of comp chassis or some kind of Axial, people would have been all over that video. If I'd have listed that as a Axial Subaru Brat, like, there'd have been probably 1,000 views on that video. But the minute you say
making a charisma a real RC truck, it would have probably blown up.
But
that's why I generally,
if you take that charisma out and run it against because that charisma, I don't know if yours does, but also that charisma, it's got the 2.1 transmission in it, which also is an anti-torque twist transmission. That thing makes diced meat out of most Axials I've ever ran on the SCX10 platform. It's way better. Just because it has that anti-torque twist transmission. Like, that's a huge game changer. I don't know why these big names can't get it. I don't understand.
Because they play it off as being BS by that manufacturer. I actually, the 2.1s, I watched videos from big names. You know what they all say? Oh, they claim they have a torque twist, an anti-torque twist. God, I can't speak. Transmission, like that's a thing. I've heard 3 channels that said that with 100,000 plus subscribers, like that's a thing. It's gearing, you idiots.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You do it with gearing.
Yeah, it's simple. If you've got one drive shaft spinning this way and a drive shaft spinning this way, and it sends that torque back to the front and it pushes that suspension down, what happens? The front end sucks back down and you don't get all that stupid ass lift. It's common sense.
Do you notice that, like Cross and MST Charisma, when you pull their transmission apart, it's more like a transmission. When you tear an Axial apart, 3 gears fall out with a couple of ball bearings. And that is a 3-gear gearbox. It's not a transmission.
It's cheap and mass production.
Yeah.
The Chinese companies are actually trying to make, just like Tamiya when they started with the original Bruiser, make it like a real car but in small scale for a person, they know what they're working with, and it performs better.
Right.
I mean, a bruiser, what is that now? 50-year-old design from back in the 70s, the bruiser?
Yeah.
The bruiser.
And it's still a better chassis than the RC four-wheel drive.
Exactly. And it's a better chassis than pretty much everything out there because it's based on a real vehicle.
Yep. It's tapered just like the real Hilux. My HG, my buddy has a Hilux that's stripped down in his backyard. He's been restoring it. If you take that HG chassis, which is basically the bruiser, and set it beside his 1-to-1, it's almost identical. Taper length, if you get out the tape measure and you measure it, and you scale it to 110, that HG chassis, which is the bruiser, is a replica chassis of a real 1-to-1 Toyota Hilux chassis, and it's 100% steel. It's not cheap shit. You can't grab a hold of it and do this. It's not pot metal aluminum. It's not CNC. It's true steel, real C-channel chassis. That is a way better, and RC four-wheel drive tried to do that with the TF3. I will say the TF3 was designed very, very, very well. Other than the scale motor was out of proportion, which I don't give. I don't know why guys made a big deal about it. All it did was make it heavier duty.
That was a deal breaker for the big names.
They did it for heavier duty gearing because the gears that are in the TF3 are 3 times. They're 32 pitch. They're way heavier duty than the Trailfinder 2. That Trailfinder 3 transmission will take 10 times the abuse that the Trailfinder 2 transmission will take. It's a 2-speed. They made it, and there's no slot between the gears. Like if you put a SE 2-in-1, it's like a caulk truck. Right. You don't get that romp bullshit. You put a 2-in-1 in a 2-speed, which is an R4 from a Trailfinder 2. It has so much damn slop in it, the truck will roll 3 inches before that FOC system actually hits. The Trailfinder 3 is like a Timex. It's constantly in the loop. You don't get that damn out of sync shit. That's what it blew my mind. There's bigger channels when they started. It was obviously, in my opinion, and you get that a lot with those bigger channels. I really think that people were afraid that if they did say that TF3 was better, that they were gonna the TF2 was gonna take a hit because everybody has Trailfinder 2 shit. And it was gonna be a whole nother platform, you know what I mean, to dive into to go down that road. But
that's what you need to survive. You need to have something new. Right. You gotta have something new. Look at you. You love leafers. You got to give you a little bone every now and again to keep you on that leafer. Yeah. You know, just like the big channels, they only know what they get for free. Stuff that they haven't gotten for free, they don't know about, so they just dog on it. But you know the most important thing about this evening is that Waffles needs a goat.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for Waffles for a goat.
See, that's what I said. Granny said
I was reading the comments
that she knew people here in the States that would ship him the goat.
I'm not be able to get my hands on a goat.
I'm telling
you, some packing stuff.
That's what I told him. I said, darling, I said, remember you told to West Virginia, and I'll go get you one right now.
That's right. I got a goat farmer that lives 9 miles away.
Yeah.
Dungeon, I'll send you some more blue towels. You can wrap that goat up and send it to Waffles.
I'm running low.
Well, I'll send you some extra, and then you wrap the goat for Waffles and send it to him.
Jerry, I'll tell you what. You need to subscribe to Waffles and check out what he's doing if you haven't yet. This dude.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
First of all, I love waffles with butter and syrup.
I know.
And I love
waffles. He wouldn't taste that good. He's a little greasy.
Everything tastes better with butter and syrup on it, but I
Even
found
me.
Waffles a while back, and I love because he fabricates shit.
Yes, that's it.
Wait a minute. Here. I'm going to make Waffles proud.
Yeah.
Oh, where the hell is it? This is stuff you don't even see on the channel very often. I did this years ago, and I still need to refinish it. This is all steel welded. This is two Venom Creeper bodies or chassis with the lock diffs on it. And I shortened all the links because this was going to be a Hemet. And I started building because I don't have any skill with styrene. You know, I built this out of, I actually think it's still, the cab is up. I did the cab and part of the body and didn't do the flatbed, but
That's like
$100, the Venom Creeper. This was $100 crawler kit when crawlers first were making coming out.
right.
Yep.
And I started doing it. It's all wired up. I can run a Traxxas. What is that kit called? Basically, the Emax ESC.
Okay.
I've got one. I was going to revise it now, and that's because of watching Waffles.
Yep.
With some of the stuff he fabricates, it's why
Yeah,
buy it if I
for
can
an old
weld it?
three-hucking hippie off the left coast out there, ain't it?
Yeah, why buy it if you can weld it up and make some crazy shit?
Yep.
And that's when I started watching Waffles a ways back.
Yeah.
Have
He
you
built that.
Hey, he needs one of them shirts too. It fit for all of us.
I don't know. I watch his videos. He's very nice.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know if he's an asshole. I was glued to his semi videos.
oh, dude, yeah. The
When
one
he's
that got
building
me
that
was the
semi,
damn
you know-
adjustable suspension on that one.
You
Dude,
know
whenever
me,
he
I'm a
made that
semi
thing-
guy. But
Yeah.
this big beefy sucker, he needs to. I can drive my dogs around.
Now, see, that's one thing I will say about Tom Lee RC. He did that big 8x8 cross.
Yes.
Oh, jeez,
He
yeah.
paid for it, and he didn't get anything for it. He built the hell out of that truck.
Tom Lee's a good
Lee's
dude.
real good.
And he had to do it
I like Tom.
twice because then he burned it up and he had to take it all apart.
Yep. And
I mean,
he worked.
Cross has got that amphibious BMP, and I
Yeah.
really want it. I really want it because my yard floods in the spring.
Oh yeah.
But $1,800, and then I got to buy all the electronics. I'm like, I can't justify it.
Yep. Yeah. That's one of the bigger channels that actually he does do real good reviews. You know, he will tell you if it's good or not. He does it in a very polite way most of the time.
But see,
you know,
and that's the thing. Traxxas sends him free stuff knowing that he is going to have a bad opinion first, and you have to prove that you are making good product.
See, that's
But
why
I think he got into some crap over that one Traxxas video, though. It was that new brush. He had like a little short. He put out that video, wasn't happy with it. I do know because I follow. That's one of the big channels I follow.
Yeah,
And then he had like a 10-minute little skit where he put out, and he broke it down piece by piece and broke down the parts on the listing where Traxxas even lied on the box.
Yeah.
About the differentials. And he got into some pretty. I think he kind of got burnt on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was people. Dude, the comments on that video were just like savage, man. It was worse than Facebook because of all the Traxxas, lovers and stuff out there, man. I'm like,
and the thing is that he didn't care to put it out there because
that's why I keep following him.
Yeah, You know, he's like, you know, if they take it away, they take it away. But I'm not going to tell you that it's a great car if you're sitting there blatantly lying about stuff. You know.
Oh, he just
Yeah.
got that big expensive one. He just did a new one on the big expensive one, and started
Yeah.
bragging on it right off the bat. Because
on the sand rail.
brakes,
Well, dude, the brakes
Yeah.
on
the front brakes,
that sand car are junk from the factory.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They don't work. It's
Look, the disc brakes on the Ball Hawk 5B. I had a Ball Hawk 5B where I did the disc brakes because that was the downfall of the HPI Ball Hawk when I was doing the fifth scale gassers. You only had the rear brake because everything was on the transmission on your diff drive, well, on your spur drive on the Ball Hawk.
Transmission brake and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was just rear wheels. So we were racing up here. We were actually racing. We had a track, extreme. I can't remember extreme something. Anyhow, they even had a Lucas Oil sponsor. They were pretty big for a while, and I converted that one over. I had the disc brakes on the front. I knew as soon as I seen that disc brakes on that Traxxas, I'm like, that's not going to be worth a damn.
How do they expect a 3mm max disc?
Yeah.
Not to get hot and warp under heat.
I don't care if you had a disc brake that big; it's not going to work.
Not to clog up in the front end because of dirt. How do they not expect that? I'm talking Traxxas.
Dungeon.
I'm happy to see them do something new and innovative with this car, but the front brakes on it, I thought was a poor decision.
It's way overpriced, man. It's way overpriced.
Don't get me wrong, but I was just glad to see Traxxas doing something than new body clipless bodies. You know what I mean?
I love the innovation of it and stuff, man. But really, if you think about it, is it innovative? HPI come out with that basically similar platform. That's what the HPI 5B was designed for. Yes, it was a gasser. A little later, they came out with the Flux. I mean, technically, isn't innovative because that platform, it's the same similar type design.
It's a X Max until you get to the front quarter or front third of the truck.
It's a half max.
Yeah.
It's a half max.
That if you accept that down and give me an HPI Flux with all of the parts that are available for the HPI and the Rovin and the King motors that are out there, I'll take the actual true fifth scale metal. Everything is CNC'd on any of those in a fifth scale. I mean, I did fifth scale. I was doing fifth scale when fifth scale came out. I had the very first 5V kit when it came out. Yes. I built. I had one of the first SS kits that the hobby shop had in stock, and we were racing that stuff back. We were converting them to sprint cars. We had a sprint car track, and we were running oval sprint cars at the racetrack. And like I did fifth scale, man, way before I ever even started doing any kind of YouTube stuff. But that 5V platform right there, that's where it's at right there. If I was going to put the money in something, that's where I'd put my money in.
Into that, I hear you. Good God, that thing's big. That's what she said.
Hey, Waffles, I won. It's heavy and drives.
I still love those.
These are damn wrist killers.
Oh, I'm telling you. How many cc motors on that?
This one's got a 30.5.
All right.
And it's been sitting because the carburetor's all gummed up and I got to tear it apart. But
your RC car's got a bigger motor on it than my weed eater.
Well, it's basically what it is.
We got them gas ones here, Waffles. We're allowed to.
Hey, Dungeon, did you, when you used to adjust the brake on it, did you ever adjust it so that it pushed both the pins through the backside of it? Because you really wanted it to stop?
Yeah, actually, Rovin makes a new conversion for that brake setup that does away with the brake problem. I can't remember, but Rovin, when HPI went out of business, like everybody shit on poor Rovin. Rovin
Oh,
and,
this is a
and
Rover.
King Motors. Yeah, I thought that was a Rovin, but
This was
everybody
the short
in all
course.
them groups were like, that's the SC5, the 5C.
Yes. Oh, it's got
Yeah,
a
you're right.
broken
That is
body.
very cold.
But everybody crapped on poor Rovin. Dude, if it wasn't for Rovin and King Motors, they wouldn't have had fifth scale. Rovin and King Motors carried that platform forever. And I think HPI's last endeavor in that platform was what? The Kraken? They came out with the two-wheel drive
The
Kraken,
Kraken.
which was I had one. Let me tell you, man, Rogan had a way, 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 way better rear differential than HPI ever did. And the HPI shocks, dude, they were terrible. The Rogan shocks, they were way, way better than the HPI shocks ever were. You had to run motor oil in the OG HPI shock, and you could actually run silicone oil in those Rovan shocks. If you put silicone oil in the legit HPI shock, the seals just went brrrr. They swelled up,
yeah, swelled
got
up.
tight, and they were charging triple the price. Rovan came, dude, and they all leaked no matter what you did. We'd go through one race, you rebuilt shocks. That's just how it was, no matter who you ran. But it just blows me away, man, at the social media. You know, because I used to be big into all the fifth scale stuff. Like that was what I pushed on my channel because I loved. You know, I got a real bad back injury and a bad hip injury. I got ran over by a Jeep and messed me up for a long time, and I just couldn't pack around. You know, I had everything. I had the Losi MTXL. You know what I mean. I had a Losi 5T and I had the Rovan variant. Every time I took the Losi 5T out, I blowed the diff out of it. You could take the Rovan out over and over and over again. No differential issues with a bigger engine. You know, I had a OBR Reed engine in my Rovan because it would take the power. The driveline would take it. If I'd have put that OBR engine, that Reed engine in that Losi, it would have crapped its pants in about 30 seconds. That's what. And don't get me wrong, I love Losi. I still feel Horizon Hobby killed Losi, in my opinion, when it comes to quality. That's just my opinion. But when Losi was Losi, it was a totally different ball game. You know, because I used to race and
Right.
you know we raced Losi. We had the little buggies. My brother was big into that, and I built all of his race trucks and his little carpet buggies that they ran. And then Horizon Hobby come along. I remember him buying the Horizon Hobby in the 2.1 or 2.2 or whatever. And the quality of Horizon Hobby holding one in your hand, I'm like, dude, the 5-year-old platform was built way better. Horizon Hobby, it was like the material itself just went, it just went down, it just got flushed. I mean, I'm sure the guys that were in the racing scene back then probably would understand what I'm talking about. But,
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, I'm glad that they're still around and everything, but it was just night and day difference in quality.
But Dungeon, I'm waiting for an email from Rovan because Rovan is now releasing their new electric conversion kit for their buggies, for the buggy and the short course truck. I mean, it's like $200, but it comes with everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a deal.
I'm waiting for the email because that guy right there, every few years that carburetor gets all gummed up and I got to pull it apart. I've already punched holes in it from the brake shoe.
Get you a true Walboro carburetor. You'll never have that trouble again. You just need a Walboro. What is it? 990. I'll send you one. I've got probably 4 of them in the box. Put a Walboro carburetor on there, brother. That thing, choke it, pull it, turn the choke off, pull it. Never touch it again. Never touch the needles. You can take that thing out and run it all day long. And it'll constantly. You'll never have those Rovan. That was the downfall of the Rovan. It was a clone of the Walboro carburetor. You throw a real Walboro 990. I've got a rooster tail carburetor under here. Because I always there's no choke on them. You don't need it. If you get that rooster tail Walboro 990, and you or I think a 990 they sell at 1100. I think in the rooster tail. I think those carburetors are $35.99 is what they cost. You don't even need a choke, bro. You just two pulls, one pull, slow prime, one pull. There's hardly even any warm up. You can throw their thing on the track wide open. There's that was one of the Rovens' issues. Their carburetors they weren't the best. They gum up really bad.
Yeah, because I've got a King Motors and I've got a Roven. That's the Roven. My King Motors was the Baja. And that thing, I beat the crap out of that. And then I let it sit for one winter, 2 winters. And then no matter what I did to that carburetor, I pulled the carburetor apart, cleaned it, put it back together again, put it back in there. It never ran right. So
I'll send you my Walboro. I have a brand new a true Walboro in a 990 with the choke. For bashing, it's kind of better to have the choke, but I'll send you that. If you slap that in there, I'll send you. I think I've got a velocity stack here still, and I think from DDM from Dave's Discount Motors.
Yep, that's all my motors are Dave Motors.
Yeah.
That's the only place I buy from.
We're buying from the same. That's how I bought those. $400 for a roller, $800 for this one, ready to go for a 5 scale.
Yeah.
Suck it, HPI. I didn't care about.
Well,
if I broke
HPI didn't have a real Walboro carburetor either. They didn't have a real Walboro. They had it was a variant of the Walboro. So none of them had a real Walboro carburetor on them. The only way to get it was to buy directly from Walboro. I figured that out really, really early when we were all down here racing, and the guys would be in. It was a clay track in the summer and dry, and that clay. I was the guy started running outerwears. I started cutting up ATV dirt bike outerwear filters, and then putting yarn. My mom had a spool of yarn, and I would tie that around the filter. I was knowing that we had 15 trucks, 9 DNF just because of the clay packing up the air filter and it would choke it out. I started running them homemade outerwears, and those dudes are like, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "It's just an outerwear filter homemade from an ATV." The next thing you know, outerwear started making all them pre-filters for all the fifth scale stuff.
Right.
After when that, you know what I mean? It was easy enough just to buy and put them on there, but
them pull starts got the crap in them right now. I've got one of I've got one of those on my other one. But what did the HPI's the motor? What did they come with?
The HPI engine was a CY 23cc.
That's what I thought.
And then later, when the SS kit came out, they started putting the real Zenoas on them. And of course, you can take a Zenoa and take it out and run it, put it up on blocks and put a rubber band around your throttle and run it WFO all day long, and a Zenoa wouldn't blow up. But then Red Cat come along and it came out with the HY, which was a clone of the CY with a cheaper piston. But the cylinder walls, they were okay, but the compression was real crappy. So what I would do is buy the real Zenoa upper cylinder and slap the Zenoa piston rings and upper cylinder on the Red Cat motor, and the Red Cat motor had a shorter stroke. So it would RPM faster, but then you had the dependability of an actual Zenoa top end. A lot of guys didn't know to do that. There really wasn't anything wrong with any of them. The HYs on the Red Cat, they weren't real dependable. If you run them real hard, got them hot. But the Rogan engines, they weren't bad. The 36 cc's, the 45 cc. As long as you didn't get that 45 cc hot and you paid attention to what you were doing, they ran. You know what I mean? They were powerhouse for Ford in that 45. I had that Coors Light bug, that 5B. It was what you just had on there. It was a 5C. And I converted it over with that really hard to get Volkswagen Beetle body. It had the Coors Light wrap on it.
Oh yeah.
And that had a hand ported. I sat down here with my Dremel, and I just hand ported that down here with a piece of cardboard, opening up the ports on it to get more fuel with my hand Dremel. And my buddy had an ALX down, up here at the racetrack, which the ALX was, that was the big monster back then. That 45cc Rovin ran with his ALX all day long until I bent my frame. I couldn't, you know what I mean? I used the frame jumping it, but
Right.
Well, that's where I got the big
man.
hate. When I brought this Rovin to town, because this was, I hate to do this sometimes. Oh, and waffles, does dreaming count? But moving on. When I brought that to town, this town was full of the HPI Bajas. When I brought this that's why I was asking about the motor, because this has a 30.5 and it would walk all over every one of them.
Yep,
so
they will.
It couldn't be that this was just a superior product. It was what custom motor, because it's got a fancy pipe on it. Oh, you've got a fancy motor, you've got a custom pipe. Well, no shit, it's going to be faster. And I was like, dude, this is RTR. That's the way it came.
Right.
30.5 high rev.
$1,500 compared to $700 to $800.
Yep.
And they couldn't just say, what the hell is that? Because this came out before the short course came out in HPI.
Yep.
I mean, the Terminator body was ugly as shit. It's still ugly. It is about the most basic. It is the most basic short course truck body you'll ever find. That's why I've got mine naked with the cage, because I actually I made body panels out of washer fluid, plastic bottles.
If you go on Rovin's website, right, like I don't know about now, but they started advertising the 30.5 as a high rev because it was the same size cylinder, but you had basically what would you consider in the 1-to-1 world a stroker. So you had a shorter stroke crank, which it built RPMs and would rev higher and sustained. I think it was like 95 or 10.5. And the HPI, I think they revved to like 75, 85. I can't remember because I used to have a diagnostic caliber down here, and I would set those engines on a break-in stand, and I would check the RPMs, what they would rev, and it would give you a readout of what the RPM accumulation was. Believe it or not, people was going to hate it, but the Red Cat 30.5 out-revved the actual Zenoa. It was the exhaust port and the intake port on the HY engine. If you take a Dremel to a Red Cat engine, which is an HY, and open the export and the import and let it eat and let it shit, you didn't even have to change the pipe on it. That HY engine would outperform most of your Zenoas up to like until you got to like a 320, like a Zenoa 320 or a Zenoa 340. You're just not going to beat that unless you're talking aftermarket OBR, ALX, any of those engines. You're talking about something that's like a Ferrari, Lamborghini versus, there's only so much you can do, but you could just take one of them simple, cheap Red Cat engines and modify it, and it'll run all day with the brand name stuff. I mean, it wears out faster because the plating on the cylinders isn't there. But who cares if you're racing, because you're gonna kill a Zenoa in a half a season. It doesn't matter. I constantly had piston and rings and cylinders laying down here, and it just got to the point between money going out and just health wise, I couldn't pack them around no more. But the fin scale hobby is like ridiculously. It was super expensive. Then it went here where I was at, and then all of a sudden, everybody it went. I don't know if you guys remember Boda Gel on YouTube. He was the man. It was I don't know how you pronounced it. It was like Boda Gel or Boda Gel. I don't know how you said his name. but he had a big YouTube channel.
He's right there.
But
Sorry, Urban was asking.
he started his YouTube channel just to promote Rovin and King Motors because everybody was shitting on Rovin and King Motors so much.
Right.
That guy did wonders for the fifth scale community. Like, he was the man. I don't know if his YouTube's still up or not because I don't watch, but he was doing the drag racing up in New Jersey, which is real big in New Jersey. And he had like a roving sponsor there towards the end. I don't think he does content anymore.
Right.
I don't think I knew YouTube existed when I bought that truck. I doubt I was running that in Fairbanks, Alaska back in the early, oh shit, that had to have been the early 2000s.
Right.
I had the number 3 stamped Ball Hall 5B that come off from HPI.
Never bought anything HPI for those, except for parts for those 2 trucks I got. All their parts swapped right over, but I never bought the engine.
Yeah, they're all interchangeable, like Rovin, King Motors, HPI. But people don't realize, like I said, there wouldn't have been a fifth scale hobby in the gassers if it wasn't for Rovin and King Motors, because HPI just went. They went basically they went bankrupt, I guess. Basically close to it, and they just shut it down and just basically died.
HPI was a big enough name to get those on the market so that people could find Rovin and King Motors.
Right.
Because the Rovin and King Motors had more innovation.
They did. Well, they carried it because HPI wasn't even making parts. HPI just went defunct. They quit. I went down to the hobby shop that's 70 miles away. He had 3 totes that I couldn't even wrap my arms around. And I went in there and I said, I needed the carrier for the HPI, the spur gear carrier, because they were plastic on the HPI. And he came out with the totes and he said, buy them all, $250.
Look here.
And I bought them all.
Somebody else knows a little bit about them gas-powered motors.
That's nitro, but yeah.
Oh, okay, nitro, yeah.
What is that, 21?
Unmute your mic, girl.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's from like a 2006 or 2005 HPI Savage 8 scale.
So that's a 25 then, like a .25?
No, that's a 21.
Oh, 21? Okay, so that's the older 21 style. Well, I had the Savage X. It had the .25 on the Savage X.
Right.
Yeah, that's from the original Savage.
Yeah, that's the original. See, I had the Savage X that had the upgraded adjustable shocks, and they had an LCG chassis. And then I traded up and got the Savage XL that had the 5.9K big block on it. That's what I raced.
Yeah, he's got some Savages.
I've got 14 of them in boxes out in the storage building.
How many you got?
Like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
I may have to send you some parts.
Monster GT, I have one of them too. From Team Associated.
I've got a Monster GT Team Associated with all their team race parts with the Team Blue .32X. I've been thinking about putting that on eBay. That was my race truck. I raced in the A scale class, but I had all the Team Associated the Monster GT, their chassis that was cut away and lightened. And then I've got an ESRB pipe on that one. Man, I used to race big in the A scale and the nitro back in the day. And then it just died. I love nitro, man. A lot of guys cried and whined about it, but when you learned it, It wasn't that bad when you took the time to learn it, brother. It wasn't bad.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
what I
the
always tell
temperature, the weather, with it being humid out, you just got to adjust it a little bit. You got to know the carburetor, and
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
The
A
Savage
little,
X
a
though
hip turn
performed
here, a hip
excellent.
turn there, and that's all she takes. That's it.
Oh yeah, Jerry, the Savage X was great, man. I took second place at the finals in Ohio with a bone stock Savage X. All I did was change the shock oil in it, and that was running Revos. I don't know if anybody knows the name, will know it, but a company called GS Racing. They came out with a truck that was called an SUT. It was the Soot Racing truck, and they were more of an 8-scale buggy.
Yep.
That Savage X would hang all day with those truggy trucks up there at the local track.
Right.
That's the only thing that beat me. I got beat, and then a Lightning hot body, which we had a sponsor. We had Praxis and we had a Lightning hot bodies, which was a branch off of HPI. So you had HPI and then you had Hot Bodies Lightning. Hot Bodies Lightning was the racing end of HPI, and they made 8-scale buggies and 8-scale truggies. And we used to have a sponsor at the hobby shop. I raced up there at a place called the Dugout. But man, I like the monster truck stuff because it was more challenging. If you got used to driving those monster trucks and you could do well with the monster trucks, and you took off running an 8-scale truggy, you could go all day long with no problem at all with a little bit of work. It was night and day. I miss those days, man. Nitro was great.
Yep. I felt the Savage X was the easiest to tune because
Yeah.
up here, my winters are a little different than yours. And
Oh yeah.
I had a body that was completely enclosed when it was cold.
Yep.
And that Savage X kept the heat inside, and I didn't have to tune it. That thing in the winter, I used to launch off of snowbanks. I used to come down our rows of cars at the dealership and launch off of a snowbank, and that thing would disappear, and it would come back, and it ran perfectly, and it never broke. The plastics, the engine, HPI made such quality vehicles. I don't understand how they went on. They had to have been mismanaged.
I don't know
The
either.
Octane, the Savage
It was-
Octane killed that company. They put so much money in research and development in that, because what happened was Losi came out, everybody cried about how hard Nitro was to tune. So they came out with the Nitro engines re-engineered to run on basically two-stroke and pump gas. It was a high octane pump gas and two-stroke oil.
Yeah.
And Losi came out with the XXL LST2 or LS. Anyhow, it was remote start. You push button started it. It ran on basically gasoline two-stroke oil with small displacement like the Nitro. And then HPI was like trying to catch up because they were kind of the name, and they came out with the Savage Octane. You can look that up. They had they spent so much money on that Savage because the hobby shop had an Octane in there. And me and another guy's name was Rick Denton. And he was the guy that constantly would win everything and all the shit and was the Nitro guy to be. And we spent countless days working on that Savage Octane tuning it. And no matter what you did, that engine just would not get the RPMs out of it to shift that damn nitro tank. Because it was the 3-speed from the Savage that they put in that octane. It would not carry the RPMs to shift it. And they just constantly blew up, overheated. There's just nothing. And dude, HPI put Hemi Storm on YouTube was one of the big YouTube channels that spent countless. Dude, he must have had 20 videos on his YouTube channel working on that octane. If you go search Hemi Storm on YouTube, That dude beat his head against the wall trying to get that thing right. And he worked with HPI because HPI was one of his big sponsors. He's got I don't know how many videos on there.
Right.
But it just wouldn't, dude. They reconfigured that thing. I mean, and it was like 2 months after that, HPI just went flush.
Right.
Not too long after that Savage. I know that's what, because dude, they spent. You're talking about a truck that cost back then in the early 2000s. You were spending, I think that truck was like $700-800. A Savage X you could go to the hobby shop and pick up for $349. You're talking about a truck that cost almost double the price.
Right.
And all that research and development, dude, it just, I'm almost 100% sure that's what killed them was them. They constantly kept putting, like, they had to buy all those trucks back. That hobby shop I worked at down here in Ohio, they bought back everything. And they were doing that all everywhere, buying all that product back. Then they re-released that as a version 2. And it wasn't right. Nobody was happy. There was people taking those trucks back into hobby shops. You're talking $700-800 out of whack. Refunds. HPI ate that for months. I know that's what I'm almost 100% sure that truck is what killed HPI. I'm almost sure of it.
Which truck did?
It was called the Octane. HPI Octane.
Oh. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you, not to brag, but when HPI first came out with the Baja, I didn't have $1,500 to spend, but I had a buddy that got out of the hobby and sold me a box full of Savages. So I took 2 of the Savage X's, I gutted the one, and got a low-key muggy motor. It was a 5cc with the gearing for that Savage. I connected those 2 together. It was as wide as a Baja. It was longer than a Baja. I connected it with a Revo drive shaft. And that truck would run with, I actually still got it out in the shed. It would run with the HPIs with a 5cc motor in it. I'm like, how is that possible? The freaking Savage 3-speed. You would listen to that thing do just wee. I would, oh man, music.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm going to have to cut it off here in about 3 minutes because I've got to save a little bit of restream time for next week's podcast. The one I was supposed to do today that didn't happen because of internet service at the comp. Man, you know, I'm right out in the open right there in Nitro Dungeon. You know where I'm talking about.
Yep.
All right. He's in right out in the wide open, but we was in that big old brick building with that metal roof, son, and you couldn't pump it in if you wanted it.
West Virginia, man, you gotta love it.
Their whole in the Nitro right there, their the Wi-Fi or their computer internet was out. You know what I mean? Because it was all, it's all hardline and it's all grouped in, and couldn't get nothing. So, but
you're a techno whiz. You just need a backpack with an antenna and a hotspot, and you can just walk around and do it.
Hey, Elon, I need me one of them Starlinks. Elon, if you're watching, I know you are. I need one of them. Hook a brother up.
Well, he's going to send you that in a Cybertruck now, since you've put out 2 advertisements for him.
That's fine. I'll take a ride on his damn space shuttle too. Whatever, you know what I mean?
I'll take a Cybertruck. I don't care.
And I'll wear my freedom pants, Waffles.
At least you got pants on.
See, there was this time
I think the last time we talked on FaceTime, you didn't have any pants on.
I no longer work for the company no more. Yes, no matter if you have to go into work, You mean you have to wear pants when you don't have to go into work? You know, you just telecommute. Well, they didn't
Did
like
you tell them it wasn't in the fine print?
it.
I don't remember it saying I have to wear pants. That's some kind of crazy rule,
That's
sir.
what I said. You know what I mean? Thanks, Urban.
This
Thanks for
is
stopping
America.
in. Thanks, everybody, for stopping
And
in.
I'm smoking my lunch, so leave me be.
Yeah, right. Does anybody have anything before we get ready to get off here?
Bunch
Anybody?
of crickets.
Yeah, I know, right? So we must have answered everybody's questions. I think it was a great show, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thanks for the invite.
Hey, it was a great time. You're more than welcome. Come back anytime. You see I got a podcast on, ask for the link.
Hey, I figured out how to do it, so I guess it works.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
start doing them. We'll start coming hanging out at your house too.
Yeah, why not?
I got plenty of room right here.
Right. I mean, hey, you've got plenty of room right here. That's what we don't even
No
have
ladies allowed.
And everybody, like Granny said, Waffles needs to go. Right, Jerry? Right now.
Go.
Alex?
Go for waffles.
Urban, you remember? You gotta vote yes for the goat.
Dungeon
If
knows the guy.
Fulton won't let him get a goat, at least let him 1 ton and 40 swap everything he owns.
I'm going to look at getting him a goat.
There you go. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody in the chat. Urban, RC, Granny, Nas, Jim's RC, Coffee Cup, all y'all, Waffles, Full Sin, all y'all. Thanks for stopping by. And I really got to get off here so I can save a little bit of that, guys. And y'all keep it straight out there. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
All right.